especially in Colombo. But as we come towards the climax, these two teams who may face each other later in the competition again will face off against each other now, and national anthems are about to play. National anthem of South Africa, God Bless Africa, sung with pride by players and fans alike.
Australians, all let us rejoice, for we are one and free, with golden soil and wealth of toil. Our home is good by the sea, our land of ours in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every state of God's Australia fair. In joyful strains, then let us sing God's Australia
An Advance Australia Fair. We'll be hearing that a few times, probably more in this competition, in the semis and the final, and certainly in under a month's time in the Ashes down in Australia, in the men's Ashes. But first, it's a tantalising prospect of these two teams fighting to be top of the table. Elise Perry signing the child's hat as she focuses. South African batters Laura Woolvart and Tasmin Brits, who has a remarkable ODI record, really, out of hundreds that she's scored, converted 50s into hundreds, is really something. What's going to be the key battles here, Kirsty? We're looking at these two teams and Australia winning the toss and bowling first. Who is key to getting a foothold in this game?
Well, certainly I think that early battle will be important. Tasmin Brits, she's been all or nothing in this competition. She's had a number of ducks, but she's also had 100 in the competition. So I think her working with Woolvart and getting South Africa off to a good start with the bat will be imperative. We've seen how good their lower middle order has been. Nadine de Klerk, Chloe Tryon, they've pulled them out of some difficult situations this tournament. But I think to beat Australia, it's how that top order goes. Sune Luce looks like she's finding some form just towards this important back end of the tournament, but I really think it'll be that battle of the spin, the leg spin versus against South Africa's middle order. Whoever wins that battle, I think, will really get a foothold in this game.
And also one of the areas for improvement for Australia, which again is scary to think, is they didn't start that well with the ball against England. They gifted them a rocketing start, and it took those spinners through the middle order. It's going to be important that they focus and hit their straps now at this end of the tournament.
Yeah, it feels like Australia need to win the power play with the bat and ball, which they didn't against England, but showed their depth within the team to pull it back in that middle over phase. So yeah, gave away a lot of free deliveries to England with the ball. Kim Garth was sloppy in terms of her standards, and I think that'll be something that they'll be focusing on this game, with bat in hand and ball, to really start this game well.
Well, we've got two people who are going to start the game well. But for us here, as the players are marching out onto the pitch, it's going to be Nikki Chowdhury, joined by Kirsty Gordon.
Thank you very much, Finny. Morning, Kirsty. Well, this is really going to be an interesting clash. Two very strong teams, and, well, who knows? They could be playing each other again later on in the tournament as the bell is rung out in indoor. What can we expect from these two out there, Laura Woolvart and Tasman Brits?
Well, I think Woolvart has kind of been the anchor for South Africa. She always has. She's a classy player, but can be a slow starter. If we're going to give her one small criticism, it is that. But she really holds the key for South Africa. Average of 49.21 in ODI cricket is remarkable, really. And at the other end, she's got the power and the explosiveness of Tasman Brits, who has really had sort of the year of ODI cricket. She's got 700s in 45 matches, and many of them have come in this calendar year, one in this World Cup. She'll want to add another one to that today, but she is on the back of some interesting form. It seems to be all or nothing for Tasman Brits in this World Cup, so this will be an interesting battle against the inswing of Megan Shute.
Yeah, she's been dipping in and out of form. And just a quick reminder for our listeners, if you were listening to commentary from the third ODI between Australia and India, commentary on that game continues on Sports Extra 2. But right now here, it's Australia versus South Africa, a top-of-the-table clash in the ICC Women's World Cup, match number 26, nearly at the end of the league stage, and both teams having qualified. As in comes Megan Shute to Woolvart. Just plays this off her hips to short mid-wicket, no run. Yeah, and I agree with you there, Kirsty, actually. Laura Woolvart, she takes a little bit of time to get going, but once she's in, she's set, she can be very dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought she played an excellent innings as well in their last match.
Absolutely, as she taps her bat now, looks up and sees Megan Shute approaching. Again, on the stumps, plays to mid-wicket off the front foot yet again. Just getting that bottom hand through a bit early there.
Yeah, the 90 that she scored against Pakistan, I think she'll take a lot of confidence from that, because it was that strike rate of 110, which is not always like Laura Woolvart. Like we said, sometimes that strike rate is typically a little bit lower, but that was a really monumental innings.
Shute in now. Woolvart pushes this into the offside. It's fielded at extra cover. And she's pure timing as well, isn't she? Doesn't really muscle any shots. So you see some players come in, get that bottom hand in, and rely a bit more on power. But Laura Woolvart, the way she just has the flow in her wrists, opens the blade on occasion as well. Just the fine leg out. This one slightly back of a length from Shute, and Woolvart goes for a short arm jab, goes to parry at short mid-wicket.
Yeah, she is a joy to watch, isn't she? Especially when she's in full flow. It's classy, it's all timing. I had the joy of watching Smriti Mandana the other day. Well, Laura Woolvart's on a par with Smriti in terms of enjoyment levels as a spectator.
Absolutely. Shute in now, and Woolvart forward, pushes this to mid-on, full face of the bat. And well, she scored 270 runs so far, most runs in the tournament. It's led by Smriti Mandana. Just mentioned that she's got 331. Pratika Rabal, her opening partner for India, 308. And Laura Woolvart at number 4 on that list. Alyssa Healy, who's not in action today, got 294 runs to her name. She's in at number 3 as in runs Megan Shute now, and Woolvart just pushes this to extra cover. No run, and that will end the over as well. Maiden over to open with.
Yeah, Woolvart's been instrumental in South Africa's growth, I suppose, in the last few years. Obviously captaining the side now as well. There's a lot of pressure on her young shoulders. I think sometimes we forget she's been around for so long. She's still only 26 years of age. She's a real stalwart in this South African side.
Yeah, she made her debut back in 2016, so come January, that'll be a good 10 years on, and she still has so much ahead of her. It's just crazy to think what sort of record she could be racking up next to her name as time progresses. But right now, Tasman Britt's on strike, and she's going to be facing up against Kim Garth, 29 years of age, economy of 4.25 in ODI cricket. As then she runs the right hand, a bit of whip, slashes this through the offside, beats point, and will come down to deep cover where Elise Perry comes round to field. And that will open the account for South Africa, 1 on the board.
Well, Tasman Britt is off the mark, something she's failed to do, unfortunately, in 3 games in this tournament. It's a crazy record, actually. Duck, 55, duck, 101. Not in that order. I've just scrambled the order somehow, but 3 ducks in 5 games, and she'll be relieved to get off the mark.
A sigh of relief when you get that first run next to your name. As Kim Garth just about to approach the crease, and Laura Wolvart just pulls out the way. Something or someone in her vision just behind the sight screen there. Surely you know not to walk in front of the sight screen as the bowler's running in. They're all having a bit of a laugh about it. As she taps her bat again, looks up. Kim Garth had to make the way all the way back to her top of a mark. As in she strides, slip and play. This is on the stumps and Wolvart forward, defends, and ball squirts to point, no run.
Well, Kim Garth had an excellent start to the tournament, actually. She's instrumental with the bat as well. Really vital 38 against New Zealand in a big partnership with Ash Gardner, which led them over the line. 3 for 14. Her best returns were against Pakistan earlier in the competition.
Garth with ball in hand is in, and this is driven through the offside beautifully by Laura Wolvart. This is Laura Wolvart-esque, and it will run away for 4. Beautiful stroke.
And that's Wolvart at her finest, and that will get her account underway. No better way to get off the mark. Wide half volley, punched beautifully into the gap. 4 runs.
Absolutely, and well, if you're a photographer, you'd want a shot of that shot. Absolutely beautiful. Garth in again, and Wolvart pushes this between extra cover and point down to Perry. Just the pure timing on that 4, actually, Kirsty. Even at least Perry couldn't get round to cover that one.
Yeah, it was all timing. Well, it was overpitched from Garth, but you still have to put it away early in your innings. She certainly did that. As I said, Garth started the tournament well, but the last couple of games, not quite been at her best. As we discussed pre-match there against England, she was sloppy and gave England a little head start in that phase, and she'll have to be on the money not to let Wolvart and South Africa do that here.
She's in again to Tasman Britt and gets a bit of movement away from the right-hander. And Beth Mooney very swift with the gloves to take that one.
Yeah, Beth Mooney up to the stumps remarkably. She's an extremely skilled wicketkeeper. The fact that she stood up to Kim Garth, who's medium pace, yes, but she's certainly not slow.
No, absolutely not. No faffing around there from Beth Mooney. As Garth at the top of her mark makes her way in through to Brits, and again this one's left alone outside the off stump. Brits watches it through into the gloves of Mooney, and that will conclude the end of the second over. South Africa 6 for none.
Well, it is an interesting decision to have Beth Mooney up to the stumps just quite so early. I understand the want to keep Tasman Brits in her crease and allow Garth to kind of bowl that probing length, potentially one that nips back in as well, and try and catch her on the pad. But you feel it takes away Garth's biggest strength, which is swinging the ball outside the off stump. Might make it harder for her to catch a potential edge that you'd imagine is their main mode of dismissal early in the innings.
I guess they're trying to counter the aggressiveness that South Africa will approach in the power play with, as in comes Megan Schutt. This one just coming into the right-handed Wolvaart. She plays this behind square, and she's got the timing on it to go all the way as well. Race away for 4.
Well, Megan Schutt might feel a bit hard done by there. It's kind of just flayed off the inside half of the bat and raced across the surface. I think that's an indication of how good this outfield is. Looks quick.
Now came into her slightly. She played it very late, right under the eyes. Not as cleanly struck, but it got the job done. Schutt in now, a bit of width, and Wolvaart drives, and this will go through for 4 down towards deep cover. Gets the width, gets the power. Back-to-back boundaries here for South Africa.
That one, not where Megan Schutt will want to bowl. Not easy as an in-swing bowler, trying to find that starting line early. If you start outside off and you don't get the swing you want, it is free pickings for somebody of the class through the offside that Laura Wolvaart holds.
You don't bowl there to her, that's for sure. Schutt in, and Wolvaart this time strides forward in defence. It goes to extra cover, dot ball. Yeah, Kim Garth had a deep point in place when she was bowling from the other end. Here, Megan Schutt doesn't have the protection. Laura Wolvaart, 70 against India, 60 against Sri Lanka, 90 against Pakistan. Currently on 13 here. Schutt in, and this one wider delivery. She's managed to get some bat on that, and that will race away for 4. Beats Beth Moody's gloves. Bottom edged. And well, boundaries flowing here for South Africa.
Well, it's not where Laura Wolvaart was aiming by any means, but it's not a good ball from Megan Schutt. It is wide outside the off stump, close to the wide line. And it means that Wolvaart's got free swing of the bat, really. Anything would have done. It's probably got the deserved result in the end.
Schutt in now, and gets a bit of movement off the surface. Wolvaart plays and misses. Looks a little bit surprised by that one.
Well, that's the skill of Megan Schutt. She rolled her fingers down the outside of the ball there, almost a bit of a leg cutter, and it's bounced away off the seam. It's a fantastic take by Beth Mooney, who stood up to the stumps, to the in-swing bowler.
In runs Schutt now. A bit of width, then again, Wolvaart leans into this, and it goes through to the cover boundary. Beautiful timing, bit of width, gets her hands through it. And that is 4 boundaries in the over. 3 overs gone, South Africa 22 for none.
Well, early headaches here for Talia McGrath and Australia. As Megan Schutt cannot find her line here, and that is crunched for 4 by Laura Wolvaart. Talk about a player in form. Well, this is one. You cannot play a shot like that. Square of the wicket, 2 backward points, both of them beaten. Another boundary. What will Talia McGrath do here? You just saw Megan Schutt signal there. She said there's no swing. What does she do now? She'll have to adapt, change her line potentially.
Expensive over from Schutt there. Kim Garth into Tasman Brits, and this one's left alone outside the off stump. Beth Mooney, very quick, standing up. Reaction levels, Kirsty, top notch.
Yeah, it's high skill, I think, unless you've been out there, unless you've ever attempted wicket keeping, which I've only done a couple of times and never again. You can't quite comprehend how skillful that is. She's got an in-swing bowler from one end, and she's got an away swinger from the other end. Both stood up. It's remarkable, really.
Playing a miss by Brits. Outside the off stump again from Garth. She's maintaining that line, doing a better job of it than Megan Schutt was at the other end.
Well, interestingly, Garth is finding a bit of shape there, which is promising, obviously, for Australia. Unlike her teammate at the other end, who's really struggling with the line.
You can see Alyssa Healy sat on the outside edge of the boundary in her orange bib, watching on. As in comes Garth, and this one sliding down the leg side, just comes off the pad. Tasman Brits, who looks to work that into the mid-wicket region.
What do you think will be going through Alyssa Healy's mind right now, Nikki?
Don't bowl wide or give Laura Wolvaart any width. Because that's exactly what she thrives on, and she's a player of feel, right? So once she's got that feel-good factor, it's going to give her more momentum going into her innings as well. As Garth is in, gets a bit of movement off the surface again. Another leg cutter by the looks of it.
She liked that one, didn't she? Healy clapping from the sidelines, encouraging her bowlers on. But yeah, I agree with you. I think it must be so difficult. I've been there myself when you're injured and your team's playing and you want to be out there and support and give messages, and there's nothing you can do. You're totally helpless.
She couldn't get closer to the field of play if she tried, actually. She's right by the foam that is on the boundary edge. As in comes Garth now, and this is played to mid-wicket by Brits, no run.
She's probably trying to deliver some messages when Kim Garth finishes her over and jots down to deep third or wherever she'll be fielding. Any way she can, trying to impact the game. She's that type of person, that type of player. It'll be tough for her missing out. Such an important game.
Absolutely, but of course wants to preserve herself for the next stage of this tournament, as in runs Garth now, and this one's left alone by Tasmin Brits. Extravagant leave. 4 overs gone, South Africa 22 for none.
Well, it's been an uncharacter-like beginning for Tasmin Brits. She's been very watchful, but she's been able to because Laura Wolvaart has been cashing in on Megan Schutt's width from the other end. And this is good partnership batting, actually, the two South African openers. 22 off 4 overs. They've made a nice start together.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think these two, they complement each other really well as well. Tasmin Brits a bit more of the powerhouse in this pair, and Laura Wolvaart just waits for balls in her slot, doesn't force anything, and is more on merit. As Alyssa Healy is having a word with Kim Garth on the boundary edge. Shoot into Wolvaart now. Forward and just pushes this pass point down to deep point for a single.
Well, it's interesting now. Megan Schutt's changed the field there to Laura Wolvaart. She's put the deep cover out, which is a sign that there's really not much swing out there for her. She's obviously angling the ball in primarily to the right-hander. Normally we'd have 2 out on the leg side, but has had to move early to the deep cover fielder. So for Laura Wolvaart only, she's put 2 out on the leg side now for Tasmin Brits, deep fine leg and a deep square leg. She's marshalling them around. They're not quite happy with the angles of where they are. Getting that deep square, a little bit more in front of square.
And one shoot now, and Brits forward in defence to extra cover. Always look very busy on the field, the Australians, don't they?
Well, I think it's a sign of their meticulousness, if that is a word.
We'll make it a word.
We'll make it a word. That they, they don't settle. They don't just allow the play to continue. Make sure people are exactly where they need to be. Make sure everybody's moving, backing up, doing all these basics really well.
Shoot in again, and Brits forward, pushes it to extra cover.
As you see there, Georgia Wareham, I think she's in at like a gully or a short third, and she just sprints round behind Beth Mooney there to make sure she's there to back up the throw. Just another example of how they're always moving, always busy.
Yeah, doesn't rely on whether the batters are looking to take her on or not. Always nailing those basics. As this one is a play and a miss from Brits, so she looks to cut it, stays low on her. And actually slightly a bit too full to play the cut shot as it goes into the gloves of Beth Mooney. And just a quick update from the third ODI between Australia and India. Australia 236 all out. India currently 199 for 1. Make that 200 for 1. Rohit Sharma just getting to his 100 as Shoot is in. And again, Brits just struggling to get it away. Plays it straight to extra cover once again. And Virat Kohli on 59. Commentary continues on Sports Extra 2 if you're looking to hear coverage of that game. Right now, South Africa currently 23 for no loss. in the Women's World Cup in indoor. Shoot in to Britt off the back foot, tries to get this away again, but finds cover, and that will conclude the end of the 5th over. Better line there from Megan Shoot, just the one run from it. 23 for none, South Africa.
Well, it's quite hard to commentate on the pace of the pitch. Is it a good wicket? Laura Woolvart is certainly making it look like that. She's making it look like the M25. But on the other hand, Tasman Britt's just struggling to get it away a little bit. Kind of polar opposite fortunes. Woolvart 22 off 16, Britt's 1 off 14. She's just struggling slightly, especially when that ball's been outside the off stump. Feet are not moving quite as quickly as she might like.
Woolvart on strike. And forward, extends the top hand as she defends the ball straight back down to Kim Garth. Gloomy looking skies around as well. Forecast for indoor doesn't look too great. And Kirsty, I'm starting to think it's just maybe our luck when you and I are in commentary together. We tend to bring the rain with us.
I was just going to say, please don't say that R word. Not today.
It's been a theme in this World Cup as in runs Garth. And slightly back of the length, Woolvart pushes this off on the rise, beats point and will race away for 4. That is pure timing.
That is class. All class from Laura Woolvart. It's not a bad ball from Kim Garth. It's maybe slightly outside the off stump, but Woolvart's played that so late under her eyes, and she's just jabbed it off the back foot. The diving Georgia Vall at backward point can't stop it.
And that's just a sign of a very good play on a very good surface as well. She can trust it. As in runs Garth now. Bit of wit slashed away up and over gully, and will be 4 more. South Africa racing ahead here.
Well, that one not as in control from Laura Woolvart. She's thrown her hands at it. It's a sign of a player in good form who's trusting her ability, trusts the bounce, trusts her timing. But it wasn't fully in control as it goes over the head of Georgia Wareham, who's in at gully. It's 4 more nonetheless.
Good start here from South Africa. Garth hit for back-to-back boundaries. How's she going to come back now? As it's Fuller. Woolvart pushes this to extra cover. And it ricochets off towards mid-on, but no run is taken.
They thought about it there. There's a diving stop from Ash Gardner, and she's almost parried it to the top of the bowler's run-up. And obviously, nobody there. Mid-on, mid-off, kind of scrambling around for it, but Laura Woolvart decides against it. No need for the risky run at this stage of the game.
Yeah, she looked to set off and then was like, maybe not. Not right now. Garth with ball in hand makes her way in, and Woolvart, textbook defence to extra cover. One slightly quicker as well from Kim Garth, 71 miles per hour. He's been hovering around the 68s, 69s. Just a bit more back in that one. Talia McGrath has a concerned look on her face already. As Woolvart forward, gets some width on it, gets her hands through, and it'll just be the single down to Elise Perry at deep cover. That will conclude the over as well. 6 overs gone. South Africa 32 for no loss. And on that note, Kirsty, a few more thoughts from you, and I'll make way for Stephen Finn.
Well, it's not been a good start from the Australian seamers. We spoke about it earlier. They didn't start well against England. It was their spinners and Annabelle Sutherland that pulled it back. It's a familiar sight here in indoor. Woolvart has raced away to 31 off just 22 balls. For somebody whose strike rate is constantly under the microscope, there's no question about that this afternoon so far.
No, they've all been proper shots as well, haven't they? Been fantastic, classical, nothing overly aggressive about it. Megan Shook continues to Woolvart, who defends off the front foot, back to the bowler. Dot ball. Yeah, with the keeper up, it's an interesting debate, actually, because I really think that you're limiting the balls that you can bowl. I think we had a brief discussion about it the other day, Kirsty, where it just feels as though you're limiting yourself from bowling a bouncer, especially at this stage of the game. Shoot. In over the wicket, punch down the ground towards mid-on, straight to the fielder though, dot ball.
Yeah, I agree with you, Finney. I think it's counterproductive potentially in two aspects. In that one, like you said, it limits their ability to bowl the short ball, which they're set up for. There's a fielder out at kind of deep fine leg, backward square. But also Kim Garth's getting that lovely shape away. She's looking for the outside edge. You think the keeper being back and a slip being in gives them the best chance of taking it.
Worked into the onside, straight to short mid-wicket. Alana King shies at the stumps, maybe unnecessarily, but setting the tone as Australia do so well. Third dot ball in a row, 32 without loss. South Africa from 6.5 overs. And also the indecision that it can cause the batter, because if they know that you could bang one in halfway down, they're not as keen to get on the front foot, whereas with the keeper up, you're almost guaranteed it's going to be full, and it is full again. It's in the air towards mid-wicket, caught. It's a touch leading edgy, and Wolvart's hanging around as though she doesn't want to leave. But Alana King, diving forward at short mid-wicket, grabs a smart catch, and Wolvart, stern face, who'd played so well, has to depart. She's gone for 31, South Africa 32 for 1.
Disappointing end there from Laura Wolvart. She played so well for her 31. And it's soft. It is a soft dismissal, you have to say. She just caught the kind of outside edge a little bit as she's tried to go back and work it into the leg side. It's a good grab from Alana King as well, diving forward. Not always easy to judge the pace of those deliveries.
No, it's actually a leg cutter, I think, from Megan Shute, running her fingers down the left-hand side of the ball. So intelligent bowling. Wolvart trying to just knock it into the onside, turning the face on it, but because that ball got to her slightly slower than she anticipated, it catches the leading edge and loops towards short mid-wicket, and that was definitely the breakthrough that Australia would have wanted. Tasman Brits can be so destructive, but she has 1 from 14 at the other end. They've managed to keep her quiet, but Wolvart came flying out the blocks. The captain, she's lost her wicket to some smart bowling. Maybe we haven't got a clue what we're talking about with the keeper up to the stumps, Kirsty. Sune
That's why
Loose.
I sat here.
Sune Loose, new batter, averaging 25.88, 140 matches, incredibly experienced. He's going to have to steady the ship here after losing the captain. Very full, under edge and through the wicketkeeper's legs for 4. Right off the very bottom of the bat, not a catching opportunity. Sune Loose smiles. She's got 4 from her very first ball. South Africa 36 for 1.
Rye smiles all round the ground there for that one. Megan Shute, Beth Mooney, and just got a glimpse of Annabelle Sutherland there. It is a Rye smile, though. They know that's an unlucky way to concede a boundary.
Just a few specks of rain there. Now, out there, full toss, attempted Yorker again, dabbed towards short third dot ball. And that's the end of the over. 36 for 1. South Africa at the end of the 7th, going at just over 5 and over, but Wolvart was responsible for a majority of the runs that have been scored so far today. Kirsty, you really are the rain charm, aren't you, this year?
Thanks, Finney. I don't want to be. I want to have a lovely game of cricket today. A really competitive battle.
Yep.
Rain, it does not play a part in our discussion today.
It's okay. Dark clouds follow me around everywhere. It's fine. I'm comfortable with that. Tasman Brits. Keeper up to the stumps. Garth running towards Brits. This is punched off the back foot, sliced away back through backward points. A good stop, and then a rather unpleasant stop as it dribbles away onto the practice wickets. It's kept to a single, 37 for 1. That you could tell the fielder, I think it's Vol, that did not want to dive on those practice wickets.
You can't blame her either, can you? You would not want to be fielding down there. There'd be bobbles off wicket ends. There'd be uncomfortable elbow grazes.
Well, that's the, and then they sting for weeks afterwards, don't they? And then you dive again in the field, it knocks it off, and you're back to square one.
Yeah, that's why you stay in the ring.
That's
the beauty of being in the ring.
That's why you field at fine leg like I do. Garth, back of a length, defended into the offside by Loose. Top ball. Yeah, no, to go and graze in the green grass of fine leg, that's the way to do it.
Oh, I think those pitches are close to fine leg.
Well, yeah, that is also a fair point. That's unusual, though, isn't it? You don't find that in many parts of the world. It's quite unique to India where, yeah, the deep third and fine leg, you've got these huge practice wickets, blocks of practice wickets where you can't not dive for the ball. Now the rain's coming down a touch harder. Garth, good length, defended off the back foot by Loose, back down the pitch, dot ball. Now that's a concern, that rain. The players don't look that perturbed at the moment, but it certainly does look as though it's coming down a touch harder, and the umpires, I'd imagine here, as Loose looks to the skies to see what's going on up there, I'd imagine the umpires will be quick to whip the players off. Unless it's a passing shower, we may get lucky.
I've heard it's a passing shower.
Yes, Kirsty Gordon said. It's like a young Michael Fish. Kim Garth down the leg side, tucked into the onside, through square leg by Sune Loose. Just the one run scored. Some smart fielding out at deep backwards square leg, 38 for 1.
Just back to the wicket there, Megan Shute. I mean, that just shows all her experience. She'd been expensive in her second over especially. Really not found her line. You can just rely on her to come back, to find a way, adapt and find a way to make the breakthrough. And it's classy bowling. It's good from the Aussies.
I'm guessing Garth down the leg side. It hits the pad, half a shout for LBW, but going considerable way down leg, dot ball. Have you got any idea who Michael Fish is, Kirsty?
No.
I thought that had passed you by. Nikki next to me was Googling, search engineing hard there to try and work out who he was. He's a former weatherman, the most famous weatherman.
Well, there we go. Every day's a school day, isn't it?
Yeah. Deep backward square and deep covered the two fielders out. Brits on strike to Garth, full of a length, clipped into the onside. It beats mid-wicket. Alana King's chasing. This is racing away towards the boundary. It skips on, and that's 4. Nice timing by Brits. The first time we've really seen her time a ball properly. As the rain comes down, maybe helping that ball skip across the outfield. Garth berating herself as her last ball of her 4th over goes for 4, and South Africa 42 for 1.
That was a real teaser, wasn't it? It just skipped across the surface and it kept Alana King interested the whole way. She sprinted it down. Couldn't stop it going for 4.
No, it's quite short square boundaries, actually. They're bigger straight, about 65 metres at both ends, but 55 square. So maybe more boundary opportunities square of the wicket. You might see batters as this game goes on take them on. But at the moment, South Africa just looking to lay themselves a platform. And indoor, the rain continues to come down, but Loose, eyes level, focused on the bowler, is punching this delivery from Shute back towards the bowler. 42 for 1. Yeah, Wolvar, she'll count herself a touch unlucky there. She looked in great rhythm, didn't she?
Yeah, Finny, hi, how are you doing?
Hi, Phoebe, sorry, I thought that wasn't the voice that I recognised.
Yeah, Wolfart had a fantastic start and had a lot of freebies actually from Garth and Shute up front.
Shute, good length, defended towards backward point, dot ball. Now, Phoebe, it was your birthday yesterday. Happy birthday.
Thank you very much, Finny.
Was it
yeah.
21, 22, something like that?
Exactly that, yeah. 20 yesterday I was.
Nice. Well, happy birthday. I hope you celebrated.
Yeah, I was actually at a wedding, so
Nice.
It was nice to celebrate there.
Did you steal the glory? Did they sing you happy birthday at the wedding?
Out, which was terrible.
You didn't even get a shout out? Sounds harsh. Shute over the wicket, defended off the back foot by Loose, back to the bowler, dot ball.
But it's taken Shute a while to get in rhythm here. Same with Garth as well. I think they've certainly given South Africa a lot of freebies up front, whether that's Mooney stood up to the stumps, but we saw it against England as well. The opening bowlers for Australia just not on the money like they usually are.
No, maybe a slight air of concern. Shute, this is a good length. Attempted pull into the onside by Loose, but a dot ball to short mid-wicket, no timing.
Felt like early doors as well. There must have been a Yorker plan because Shute has thrown in 4 Yorkers to lose in her first few deliveries. One scuttled all the way down to 3rd off the bottom at inside edge, and the Australian players all giggling to themselves, which you always know there's a plan involved in those moments.
Shute, a good length, punched off the back foot towards extra cover, beats her right hand, but mid-off scampering to her left, stops it, dot ball. It's a hard skill, though. I always found bowling a Yorker with a brand new ball so much more difficult than bowling it with an old ball for some reason.
Yeah, it's a skill, isn't it? And it doesn't seem to shape as much with the new ball, so you've got less margin for error. Yeah, she's playing quite a lot of tricks now. Shoot.
Pulled into the onside by Loose, but straight to short mid-wicket, pressure building. 42 for 1. Loose, after a boundary off her very first delivery, has scored 1 off her next 10 balls. Tasmin Brits, who we know can be so destructive, giving herself a chance, only has 6 from 17, including 1 boundary. So maiden for Megan Shoot there. 1 for 21 she has from 5. And Australia rattling through these overs. We're through 9, just over half an hour into this game. Australia top of the table at the moment, but should remind everyone that whoever wins this game will finish top, therefore playing India on the 30th, which gives them an extra day's rest versus the second versus third. 12th is there standing with about 5 pairs of sunglasses, walking down the beach trying to sell them. Tasmin Brits facing Kim Garth, defended up towards mid-off, dot ball, 42 for 1.
Yeah, Kim Garth just getting into more rhythm and flow here. She gave away a lot of loose deliveries early up and hasn't really had the tournament of her standards. Got a lot of skill with the new ball, able to shape the ball most consistently away, but can also move it in as well.
Yeah, lovely seam position. See Shoot at the other end, bowling predominantly cross-seam deliveries. Garth giving this ball the opportunity to move. Bowling to Brits, a big appeal. Is that going down the leg side? No, it's given. Brits looking to hack across the line, goes down on one knee and is struck on the pad, and the Australians celebrate. There'll be a conversation about whether this is drifting down. 3 seconds, she has sent it upstairs, but the original decision is out. What do you think there, Phoebe?
I think it looks like it's a good decision by the umpire. She's gone for the slower ballers, Kim Garth there, and absolutely done Brits with her skill there. It looked like it was hitting in front. The only doubt will be whether it's high.
It is a fair delivery. I'm looking at a split screen.
Yeah, that looks a lot straighter than I initially thought, actually. It's cannoning into middle stump.
Okay, next frame.
And the way that she played the shot gave the illusion that it might have been going further down leg, which, you say, completely false.
Yeah, she went in for the pull shot, played the ball much earlier than it came through because of the slower delivery from Garth. With both batters outfoxing the South African openers with the change of pace early doors within the power play.
Okay, next frame.
We saw
Next frame. Next frame.
Megan Shoot at the other end, get Laura Wolfart with the leg cutter.
Flat line. I'm satisfied
Doesn't
there's
look
no
like
bet
any
involved.
bat
Let's move
or
on to ball tracking
gloves are
when ready.
involved with the ultra edge. They're just going to go to the line now.
Original
She's
decision
in trouble,
is out.
I think. Pitching
Pitching
just outside off.
Impact in line. Wickets hitting. Nemali, I need you to stay with your original decision of out. Stand by.
Yeah, we stick with the original
Don't
decision.
make a signal
Good
now.
decision by the umpire. Flurry of pads and bats flaying across the line. But the ball struck Brits on the right groin as she was down on one knee, so there's no chance of that going over. Brits, I think, after she saw the first replay, could have started walking really, having known that she hadn't hit it. So another failure for Brits, who, with a marvellous record and a fantastic track record of making hundreds, will not be doing that today for South Africa. And yet again, after having their backs against the wall and finding it hard for the first few overs, Australia fighting back. 42 for 2, South Africa.
Yeah, great adaptation from the opening bowlers. We were just criticising their loose deliveries, but as there hasn't been any swing available up front, both Kim and Garth have gone to the variations. Both Kim and Shoot even. Shoot bowling the leg cutter to get Laura Wolfart, and then Garth going for the slower delivery to get Brits LBW. So showing how quickly they've adapted to the pitch, to the situation. No swing on offer, so go to the other skills in the locker, and with that, brings South Africa 42-2, and Annerie Dirksen to the crease.
Yep, Dirksen, aggressive player, strike rate of 95. She has scored one ODI 100. She's in to steady the ship against a formidable Australia team. The two fielders out for Garth's bowling here. Deep backward point and deep backward square leg. Garth looking at the ball at the back of her mark. Make sure she's happy. A slip, a gully, a deep backward point, deep backward square, over the wicket. Garth, slight bit of shape, but defended off the back foot by Dirksen to short extra cover, dot ball. You can see the Australians just circling here now, can't you? The slip, the gully. And taking another look at the slower ball, it was a kind of back of a hand, but it was a leg cutter. The seams come out like a leg cutter, and it's just held its line back into the stumps and hits Britt right in front of middle. That communication is so important. Inside the first 10 overs, the Australians realising they had to change their pace. Garth width, playing a miss by Dirksen, reaching for the ball outside the off stump. 42 for 2. Just 2 deliveries left of this first power play, where only 2 fielders are allowed outside the 25-yard circle.
You don't see loads of back of the hands leg cutters with the new ball, but that's where the Australian bowlers, even with their backs against the wall, are brave and bowl those delivery, because it's what the game requires at that moment in time, and that's what makes this Australian team so good.
Dirksen, long ponytail hanging out the back of her helmet, defends the ball back towards short mid-wicket. Dot ball. Is that a plait, Phoebe? Is that what we call a plait?
Yeah, that is. That's a traditional plait. Just from the ponytail, that
I feel like
Finny.
I'm going to learn a lot more about this. I've got a 10-month-old daughter, and she's just about started to get long enough hair at the back to put in little pigtails.
Oh, you'll be learning all the different hairstyles, Finny.
Everything, yeah. The pigtail is going to be the most basic of them. Dirksen, bat raised towards gully, waits, crouches, and tries to hit across the line. Hit on the pad, but going down the leg side. And that's the end of 10 overs. Now, South Africa, having lost the toss and being inserted by Australia, made a fantastic start, but they've really slowed down in the last 3 or 4 overs. And the Australians, the dominant force that they are in women's cricket, dominating this tussle at the moment. And with a few more thoughts from you, Phoebe, you're going to hang around and you're going to be joined by Nikki Chowdhury very shortly.
Yeah, great comeback from Australia within that power play. South Africa were 32 for 1 in the 6th over, and since departing of Laura Wolfart, they haven't seemed to crack on with the score. It's Garth and Shoot who have come back strong within their spells. Both of them 5 overs, 1 for 21. And Laura Wolfart departed on 31 off 26 deliveries. So after starting slow with the ball, they've come back strong. And Australia in a nice position here as they depart the power play.
Afternoon, Phoebe. Yeah, absolutely. I go off air for 20 minutes and they pick up 2 wickets. An important wicket as well. Laura Wolfart really starting to get herself going, and then you could say slightly softish dismissal to Alana King at mid-wicket, who took a fabulous catch diving forward. I'm going to see a change in bowling as well. Annabelle Sutherland coming into the attack. And she's in to lose, who's forward, full face of the bat, pushes it to mid-off.
Well, Sutherland's been the real star of the show this tournament with the ball in hand across both the seam and spinners, but the leading wicket taker in the tournament for Australia, for the competition. She's just been on the money, hasn't she?
Well, she really has, and that spell against India was really something special, as this one is pushed through the offside down towards King, a deep cover. They come through for a single. Picked up 5 for 40 out in Vishakhapatnam. And then, yeah, 2 for 41 against Bangladesh, 3 for 60 against England just a few days ago. It's an indoor. Most wickets for her, 15 wickets. And Dipti Sharma of India follows closely in at second place, 14 wickets to her name. England's Sophie Eccleston is in at number 3 with 11.
As a seam bowler as well, you always want to get that delivery that clips the top of off stump.
Sutherland in now, Dirksen forward, solid in defence to extra cover.
And it seems to be every bold dismissal that Annabelle Sutherland gets just beats the outside edge and just clips that top of off stump. She really is textbook with her bowling, how the ball leaves her hand seam up and just gets that slight bit of movement that foxes the batters.
Yeah, she bowls that line where you've got the batter thinking, do I play this, do I leave it? How much is it going to move away from me? As this one is pushed by Dirksen to King, who dives to her left to stop this at cover. No run.
Yeah, they've kept cover in the ring for Dirksen, who's had a very slow competition and tournament thus far. She's really in the need for some runs in this big game.
Yeah, hasn't been able to get any on the board, really. Today's a chance. And she just keeps her weight back and opens the blade this time, plays it to point. Sutherland blocking 73 miles per hour here.
But Australia will know what pressure she's under. In the previous game against Pakistan, she hit one direct to mid-wicket, ran herself out in single figures. So they know the pressure she's under, and a big role for her at 4.
Sutherland in now, and this one, Dirksen just closes the face of the bat, plays it to mid-wicket. 1 run from the over. 11 overs gone, and South Africa 43 for 2. And well, Sine Loose and Anna-Marie Dirksen, both new batters out there in the middle. We've lost the openers, and they'll have to do some rebuilding here, Phoebe.
Yeah, they will. They haven't been in this sort of position this tournament. One of the openers, either Wolvar or Brits, has supported 3 and 4 in the early stages of the game. It's a real test for this top order to see if Lewis or Dirksen can step up here. The middle order for South Africa has been phenomenal throughout the competition. Different players sticking their hand up at different times. Tryon playing some great knocks. Cap also being brilliant, but the real star of that lower order, Nadine de Klerk, who's had a brilliant tournament with the bat. But they'll need some rebuilding here.
Yeah, de Klerk's been absolutely brilliant. Comes in, gets the job done. Been finishing off games for South Africa. We're going to see a change in bowling as well. Alana King, we knew leg spin was definitely going to be on show today, and she's been brought in now. She skips in to Loose, who's forward, leans in to a defence, plays this down the wicket. She's got a slip in play. Well, someone I'm extremely impressed with, Phoebe, Alana King, just the skill set she possesses. And she's in again now as Lou's down on one knee, goes for the slog sweep. This is up in the air, and it's taken at mid-on. Tries to go for the big shot early on, and Sine Loose just gives her wicket away. South Africa 3 down now.
Crazy shot there by Sune Luz. Went for the big slog sweep from Alana King. Little bit of drift, little bit of turn, but goes straight up in the air, and a comfortable catch in the end for Annabelle Sutherland, but not needed at this stage of the game at all. A wicket gifted there from South Africa.
Absolutely. Luz goes for 6. Not really sure what was going through her mind when she was opting for that shot. Not needed. And plenty of time. And, well, South African dugout now, suddenly slightly more concerned looks.
Yeah, I think sometimes with shots like that, you're playing the player rather than the ball in hand, and whether she's trying to get one up on King early, it just felt reckless. In the 11th over, number 3, an experienced player as well, and played some good knocks throughout this competition. And you could see the disappointment in the South African dugout there. That's not the cricket they've been playing this tournament, and not a reflection of Sune Luz as a player, but brilliant from King again.
It brings out Marizan Cap, and she's off the back foot and cautiously defends this into the offside. No run, and well, Alana King will definitely think she's been handed that wicket on a golden platter, because Sune Luz really just goes for the big shot, doesn't get the connection. As King is in, just tosses this one up above the eye line. Cap forward, just pushes it down the ground again. And King gets a hand to it, no run.
King is the sort of player as well as that when she gets into more and more rhythm, she just gets better and better. And she really is coming into some form leading into this semi-final and final stage.
This one, King in and just pushed over above her head. Catch it is the call, but only if she was maybe 3 foot taller.
Kat having a laugh at that, the Australian team laughing, but almost another opportunity there for King, who bowls a leg stump line. Kat tries to push that to mid-wicket and just beats King. Another few inches on her and she'd have caught that.
This one, straight to point. A bit of flight from Alana King. Marizanne Kapp, fully fledged drive. And it goes straight to point. And wickets tumbling here for South Africa. They lose another.
Well, what a start there for Alana King. Double wicket maiden as she breaks into the Australian attack in the 12th over outside of the power play. But a big flamboyant drive from Kapp. Not judged the pace of the wicket yet, not judged the spin. And another gift there from Alana King. Two from her first.
And she's got a big smile on her face. Marizanne Kapp goes without troubling the scorers. South Africa 43 for 4 after 12.
Yeah, Kapp will be disappointed in herself there. She came in, faced 4 deliveries, played her first 2 very well against King, tentative but with assurance, front foot defences, and then the previous 2 lofty shots, got away with the first one, just chipped over King's head, and then a big drive to try and take Alana King out of the park and straight into Point's hands. Couple of gifts there for King, but that's what happens when you're in form and batters have so much doubt. You play silly shots, and that's what's happened for Sune Lewis and Marizanne Kapp, 2 experienced batters in the South African lineup.
Sutherland into Dirksen now. This one just looks like it's sliding down as Australia go up with the appeal. And that wicket of Marizanne Kapp also brings out Sinalo Jafta into the middle. She's currently at the non-strikers end, but I think it's safe to say South Africa have handed those last 2 wickets to Australia there. Sine loose, going for the big shot. Marizanne Kapp not really getting herself in set, assessing the conditions, the surface.
Well, they've been playing some brilliant cricket.
Find themselves in a pickle. This one hit up and over Sutherland's head, down towards the boundary. Does it have the legs? It does, just about. Release some pressure there as that will race away for 4 in the end.
Well, Dirksen leans back and punts that straight over Sutherland's head. It was a slower delivery. Just rolled her fingers over it, did Sutherland. So it just went up and over the ring, couple of bounces to the boundary ropes. She doesn't mind it though. That change of pace is proving really effective here for the seamers.
Sutherland into Dirksen, waits for it, opens the blade and plays this down towards Garth, that deep third for a single. And things with this Australian side, once they get her through, they push that door open a little bit. They really come barging in. And it's important South Africa just don't let themselves get bogged down, regroup, take their time. There's plenty of time in this game, and of course the rain has also stopped, so it doesn't look like weather should interrupt this, hopefully.
Yeah, they're so ruthless as a team, and you feel that energy. You can feel how on top they are at the moment, and that wobble at the start, the first 6 overs when Wolfhard got off to a great start. They know how to turn that back round, and it's back in their advantage.
Jafta on strike now, as she's forward to Sutherland, who feels off her follow-through. And you can really feel them in their faces, can't you now, Phoebe?
Definitely. As soon as they got that breakthrough of Wolfhard, the whole energy of that Australian team changed. And Alana King, the star of the show, I think her name has some impetus now.
Absolutely. Sutherland in, Jafta cautiously forward and plays this to King at short mid-wicket.
So even the most experienced campaigners like Marizanne Kapp are playing silly shots early doors to her. And she's got a wonder ball in her, but it was a standard over from Alana King and was gifted 2 wickets there for her.
Yeah, as soon as she's got ball in hand, you can see she's already causing nightmares. As Sutherland's in, Jafta again forward in defence, full face of the bat to extra cover. And that will also conclude the end of the 13th over. 5 runs from it, 48 for 4 South Africa.
Well, I hope we see a rebuild from South Africa here. They've only had one terrible game all tournament, which was the first one. They were all out for 69 against England, batting first. After that, they've chased exceptionally well throughout the tournament, won all the group games after that first game against England. And last game, batted first against Pakistan and posted 312. So the challenge for them is how can they rebuild in this phase against a very, very good team, because batting first is where their weakness is. They prove that they can still post good totals against Pakistan, but against a really good team here, how are they going to find themselves?
King, with ball in hand, skips in, gets a little bit of turn, just drops it slightly back of a length as Dirksen is off the back foot and defends. Well, we have seen in Indoor with this black soil pitch as well get a bit of spin later on. An average first inning scores around the 270 mark. Looks a little bit far-fetched right now as Dirksen off the back foot goes to cut this one from King and goes straight into the gloves of Beth Mooney.
Well, we're certainly seeing some spin early deals here from King. Getting that ball to turn quite significantly.
Yeah, some spin on offer. As in skips Alana King, and again a play and a miss outside the off stump from Anna-Marie Dirksen. Well, she really locks that wrist, doesn't she, Phoebe? So she manages to get that extra spin that we do see on offer from her compared to other leg spinners in the women's game. And she also has a very low arm action. Brings it right through from the side. As she skips in yet again, fuller delivery. Dirksen takes her foot beside the ball and defends.
And she bowls her best when she's got that big grin on her face, which she has at the moment. Relaxed, in flow, got a lot of overs under her belt through the warm-up games, the series before this, the 100. She's played a lot of cricket.
And again, this time on middle and off stump as Dirksen forward pushes it to mid-off. There's confusion. Dirksen set off halfway down the track, and there's a chance of a run out, but she slides back just in time. Panic setting in.
Well, she got away with that, did Dirksen. Hit and run again. She did it the previous game, straight to extra cover. She sets off late, gets sent back. And it's a terrible throw from Sutherland. Otherwise, she was in all sorts of trouble.
She really was. About to run on the misfield. Annabelle Sutherland doesn't quite get her throw. Beth Mooney had to probably be, 2-3 feet away from the stumps. And then doesn't get the relay back in time as King is in again and gets some spin, gets some bounce and offer as Dirksen plays and misses. What an over from Alana King, another maiden, as 14 overs conclude. 48 for 4 here, South Africa.
Well, Dirksen doesn't look particularly comfortable against King at all. 4 of those 6 deliveries beating her on the outside edge. She's getting a lot of spin and turn, is King. All those balls pitching on sort of 5th stump line and moving a good couple of inches. Dirksen going back and across, but every single time missing the ball. There's an outside edge coming at some point, it feels.
Yeah, seems like something's going to happen. Jafta in a stance forward and has a waft at this one outside the off stump. Beats the bat, goes through to Beth Mooney. Well, you can just feel the pressure out there in the middle on South Africa right now.
Well, it's just relentless, isn't it? Absolutely relentless. And Sutherland comes in and the next delivery is an excellent ball. Just beating the outside edge again.
There's no escape as this one is driven, opens the blade on contact and will run down towards the boundary at deep third. 4 runs to ease the pressure here for South Africa. They move on to 52 for 4.
A little bit fuller there from Sutherland, and Jafta guides that nicely down to third. Goes very wide, so beats the fielder down there. That's nicely played.
And Sutherland apologises after that one as well, after that delivery, knows that she's just given a bit too much width. As Jafta forward and pushes this delivery to mid-off. Want to keep them in play. Try and keep it stump to stump here, Phoebe. Just be relentless. See who cracks.
That feels like Sutherland's job at the moment, with King bowling the special deliveries at the other end that look wicket-taking. Sutherland's just here to be in partnership at the moment with King. Bowl that stump-to-stump line.
Jafta in low full toss, which she hasn't quite timed, and uppishly gone past Sutherland and towards mid-on.
You can see the change of pace there. Her standard delivery coming through at 70 miles an hour, and then back of the hand there, didn't quite pitch it, but came through at 56 miles an hour. So they're going for the change of pace of the seamers today, which has been effective, taken Wolvart's and Britt's wicket.
Sutherland in again to Jafta off the back foot, opens the blade. This beats Gully, and this will race away for 4. Again, a little bit of width on offer. And Jafta quick to pounce. 2 boundaries from this over so far.
That's a gorgeous shot from Jafta. On the back foot, punches it in front of point, plays it late underneath her eyes, and watches that race to the boundary for 4. It's brilliantly played.
Slipping a Gully in play as Sutherland's in and drifts down the leg side. Gets a clip on this, does Jafta, helps it along the way. And that will race away for 4 more. Down towards fine leg. Megan Shute can't get across to cut it off. 3 boundaries in the over. Off Annabelle Sutherland. 15 overs gone. South Africa is 60 for 4.
Yeah, Jafta will be happy with that. Another loose delivery there from Sutherland, and she's able to guide that round the corner for 4. A few gifts in that over, and not backing up King's work from the other end as I hand over to Kirsty Gordon.
Thanks very much, Phoebe. And well, after that start, and South Africa got, and then a few early wickets falling. With Tasman Brits, the opener Laura Wolvart really got stuff on a roll. South Africa currently 60 for 4 as King is in, and off the back foot Dirksen plays this to mid-on, no run. Again, just looking to set off. She looks like she doesn't want to face Annabelle King here, Kirsty.
Well, she needs to find her method here, does Annerie Dirksen, because she's not looked convincing so far, trying to go back to full balls. Not really sure whether she's coming or going, to be quite honest. So she has to find a method and she has to stick to it.
King in now, and she's been bowled. Stays beside the ball, and this one, no spin, skids on. And South Africa, they are in trouble. They lose another. Australia strike again, and it's Annabelle, and it's Alana King.
Well, you could almost feel this coming. She couldn't find a method. She couldn't get off strike. She couldn't barely get bat on ball through times. And when you miss, Alana King will hit, as she does again. It's the slider. It goes straight on. She's been unbelievable this competition and hasn't always got the reward for it, but she's getting the reward for it today, that's for sure.
Absolutely, and well, Alana King is absolutely gleaming cheek to cheek as Annerie Dirksen goes for 5 from 19. South Africa in trouble. They're 60 for 5 here.
Yeah, big trouble now for South Africa. They've had to rely on Tryon, de Klerk already in this tournament. I would have hoped not to today, but they're going to have to, along with Jafta, who's made a good start today. Jafta missed out a couple of games earlier in the tournament, having had a light run of runs. She's back in today, and she'll want to cement her place in the semi-final team by getting a bulk of runs today and helping South Africa up to something at all, anything really they feel they can defend.
Yeah, not the batting scorecard you want to see if you're supporting South Africa in this game. As Laura Wolvaardt top scoring with 31. Tasman Brits went for 6. Sine Loose 6 as well. Annery Dirksen 5 to her name, and Marizan Kapp, unfortunately, without troubling the scorers. And well, they'll really need some gritty work out there in the middle. Into the 16th over, 5 down in indoor.
Well, they were 32 for no loss for South Africa, and they fell to 43 for 4. Just 11 runs for those 4 wickets. Extremely costly 4 wickets indeed.
Absolutely. And well, yet again, this Australian side just proving how strong they are. There's literally no mercy.
Little early drinks break here in indoor. Just a few balls early as the wicket has fallen. But if we just go back to Alana King for a moment, I mean, against Pakistan, she only picked up 1 wicket but conceded just 19 runs. Bangladesh, 2 wickets for 18 runs. England, well, she was tremendous. 10 overs for just 20 runs, only picked up the 1 wicket. So it feels right that today she's in the wickets because she's bowled beautifully, been arguably the pick of Australia's bowlers. Hasn't always had the reward.
No, she hasn't, unfortunately. Well, Australia currently very much on top here. And news from the 3rd ODI between Australia men and India. India have won that game by 9 wickets, chasing down a target of 237. Rohit Sharma 121 with the bat. Virat Kohli 74 with the bat. Both of them not out, seeing India over the line. Series now goes to 2-1. India getting their first point, and that.
Well, it's good to know there is an Australian team out there that are beatable, because the one we're watching in front of us seem to have a stranglehold on everybody they come up against.
Yeah, absolutely. When's the last time this Australian side lost an ODI game? I'm thinking it's, if my memory serves me correctly, probably 2023 Ashes. It's been a while.
If my memory serves me correct, which I don't think it will, my memory's awful. But did Australia not lose one of the ODIs against India just in the build-up to this tournament?
Ooh, that's probably sooner than... Yeah, I'm going to have to check that fact up as King is in now as we come out of the lunch break. And this one is tripped straight to mid-wicket by Chloe Tryon. And she's in with the wickets straight after the drinks break.
I have never in my life seen figures like this. Alana King, 2.3 overs, 4 wickets for no runs. Incredible, incredible spell of bowling as a simple catch is taken at mid-wicket by Ash Gardner. Alana King is on fire. Australia are on fire, and South Africa are crumbling.
Crumbling indeed. And well, they say drinks breaks will bring wickets, and Alana King really making sure she's right in there against South Africa. Tryon goes without troubling the scorers. Back-to-back wickets here for Alana King. South Africa 60 for 6.
My word, we did not have this on our bingo cards today, I'll tell you that. South Africa here in all sorts of trouble. We'll jump back to our discussion because India did beat Australia in the 2nd Women's ODI of their 3-match series just before this tournament got underway. India batted first and scored 292. Smriti Mandana with an unbelievable 117 off just 91 balls. And Australia crumbled to 190 all out. Well, that is very unlike them. There was 44 for Elise Perry, 45 for Annabelle Sutherland, but nobody else getting above 20 runs. They still won the series 2-1.
Oh yes, I remember that one now. How could you forget that knock from Smriti Mandana? And well, how can you forget this spell from Alana King? Currently on a hat-trick here as Nadine de Klerk comes out to the middle. 60 for 6. King, the big smile on her face, slip in place as Klerk off the back foot just gets this one past slip and will come through for a couple of runs. And actually, it will be more than that because the ball has crossed the rope, just has the legs on it as it crosses the practice wickets on the outskirts. And de Klerk will get herself off with a boundary.
Well, there's a wry smile on Alana King's face. She can't be disappointed, really. It's gone for 4. It's not hugely convincing, but with extra fielders round the bat for the hat-trick ball, a few extra spaces appeared in the outfield. 64 for 6, South Africa now.
King in now, bit of flight as this is pushed to mid-off the front foot by de Klerk.
Well, we've said Nadine de Klerk has got South Africa out of some trouble in this competition, but this feels like it will be an almighty job from here to get them up to anything respectable.
And this one right up there from King, and de Klerk blocks that. It goes and gets stopped at slip. 16 overs gone, 2 wickets in that over from Alana King. 3 overs, 4 for 4 for her so far. South Africa 64 for 6. Kirsty, a few more thoughts from you as I make way for Stephen Finn.
Well, you'd feel like your eyes are deceiving you if you were watching this, and if you've just tuned in, 64 for 6 South Africa have fallen to, and it's at the hands of Alana King. 4 wickets for just 4 runs. An incredible, incredible display of bowling from her. It's all going downhill very quickly for South Africa here.
Yeah, well, there's no respite either. Ash Gardner is coming into the attack. Georgia Wareham is yet to have a bowl. More leg breaks, but Alana King, she's in some form, isn't she? She bounced the spin that she manages to get, and there are some quite glum faces sat in the South African dugout right now, because it's going to take some effort to haul themselves back into this game. 64 for 6 from 16 overs. Ash Gardner tossing the ball from hand to hand, comes in over the wicket to Jafta, who goes back, cuts, and outside edges it for 4. Just fine of short third. There's some respite in that moment. Jafta moves on to 16 from 10, and South Africa 68 for 6.
Yeah, they're going to have to try and build a partnership, take as much time as they need to get themselves in. That's all they can do here, is just try and bat as long as they can. They'll pick up runs, these two, they will.
Deep backward square, deep mid-wicket, the 2 fielders out. Jafta waits, comes down, hacks this into the onside, up over, wide mid-on, and that's 4 more. Back-to-back boundaries for Jafta, so she's not looking to build, she's looking to counter-punch here, and doing it with some success at the moment. She was on to 20, South Africa 72 for 6.
Well, there's 2 ways you can do everything. Fair play to Jafta, she'll take it on. Mid-on up in the circle, why not?
Sonalo Jafta back into the team for this game. Rocks back and punches off the back foot towards point. That is stopped by the fielder, Alana King, dot ball. Certainly going to need to get some degree of a score on the board, because the problem with this now for South Africa is the depth that Australia have. Gardner, Jafta goes back and cuts this off the back foot towards backward point, dot ball. The problem for South Africa is if they scratch their way to 160, that's not really winning them the game, is it? With the depth that Australia have. So it's the conundrum you find yourself in when you're playing this Australia team. You look around the field and you just, great players just staring at you. No real weakness at all. Alyssa Healy, one of the stalwarts, isn't even playing. Gardner round the wicket this time, swept by Jafta towards deep mid-wicket, but straight to Elise Perry, who hasn't had to do too much in the game yet. 73 for 6.
There's no sort of consequence now of net run rate. If they lose this game, they play the semi-final against England. There's no consequence to losing badly. So they may as well, like you say, go for it, try and get up to something well above 200 is really their only chance to win the game. Well, if they get bowled out for not very many, so be it.
Gardner, none for 9 from her 5 deliveries so far. Bowling to Nadine de Klerk, who goes back and defends off the back foot in front of off stump. And a dot ball to finish the over, 73 for 6. South Africa, Jafta has 21, de Klerk 4. Who would you rather face in the semi-final? So these 2 teams, whoever comes top will play India, whoever comes second will play England. Is there a team that you'd rather face, or at this stage of the tournament it's just whatever lays in front of you, you have to deal with?
Yeah, well, I think we've spoken about this before, about just playing the game that's in front of you. It's really important just to, obviously they're in a difficult situation now anyway, but it's really important not to have too many eyes on what may lie ahead. And to be honest, I don't even know. I mean, India seem to be just coming to, finding form. towards this sort of crunch end of the tournament, and in home conditions, again, you know, big crowd, big occasion, you'd fear them.
King's in, and Jafta comes down the pitch and hammers her back over her head. So Jafta playing a different game to her teammates here at the moment against Alana King, whose figures have been butchered there, really. She has now 4 for 8. It's a nice shot by Jafta. Little skip down the pitch, got to the pitch of the ball, and just stands there and watches it sail back over the bowler's head. Jafta 25 from 15, 77 for 6. South Africa a touch short, a reverse sweep, and that's beaten the dive of slip. And that'll be 4 more. 81 for 6.
Well, it's a brave shot with a slip in play. Alana King on a 4 for her, but Jafta doesn't care. She's 29 from 16 and she's dealing in boundaries only. Great counter punch here for South Africa, exactly what they need to keep them going.
Yeah, playing some really nice shots here. It wasn't an aggressive reverse sweep, and King did adjust her line, seeing the movement of Jafta to outside leg, but Jafta able to just help that round the corner using the face of the bat, and it beats that dive. South Africa 81 for 6. Jafta 29 from 16. King, back-to-back boundaries, is bowled. And that's 5 for Alana King. Jafta looking to slog into the onside and keep that counter-punch going. Cannot resist. And Alana King, she's taken her 5th wicket. She has ripped the heart out of this middle order. And Australia so dominant throughout this tournament. Continue that, and it's Alana King who takes her 5th wicket. And no wonder she's celebrating. What a spell of bowling this is.
Unbelievable scenes for Alana King and Australia. You felt it was a matter of time. Jafta played some good shots there, good counter punch, but you always felt like it was a matter of time. Alana King, it had to be her, didn't it?
Well, it feels like it kind of did. Yeah, 5 for 12, and she's gone for back-to-back boundaries as well. It is quite a remarkable spell of bowling. It's her 2nd 5-wicket haul in ODIs. My word, the control she's had, and apart from those 2 deliveries that Jafta threw the jab and then the right hook at her, it didn't knock her out. She came back, dragged her length back. Jafta looking to play across the line into the leg side with a horizontal bat. Loses her off stump, and Australia can smile again. 81 for 7. Massa batter class is the new batter brought back into the team for this game. A high score of 15. 164 runs in 87 matches at an average of 6. So you wonder what's to come if Class is batting at 9. And Laura Wolver, stern-faced, the captain of South Africa. They know they're through to the semi-final, so the consequences of this aren't that significant, but the confidence that you may lose as a result of another collapse, very similar to the one that they had against England in the very first game, the seeds of doubt that might sow as you enter the semi-finals. They're going to have to wipe this from their minds. King is defended by Class off the back foot. Into the pitch, Beth Mooney picks the ball up with a huge grin on her face, and not all that surprising, the Australians are enjoying themselves.
Well, I bet Alana King's first 5-wicket haul didn't come in just 3.3 overs. That's the staggering thing about it. She's changed the game, but in a matter of moments.
Nudged round the corner by Class towards deep backwards square leg off the inside half of the bat. 1 run added to the score, 82 for 7. And Jafta just looking to counter punch. You can't blame her. I think she knows that there's not all that much batting to come, and the only way that you're going to beat Australia is by putting a significant score on the board, as opposed to scraping your way up. He played some nice eye-catching shots in that innings, but it wasn't meant to be. De Klerk now on strike. He rocks back and punches this off the back foot with an open face towards backward point, dot ball. 5 for 13. Alana King after 4 overs, 18 gone. 82 for 7. South Africa, and they had a great start actually as well. You almost forget the fact that they came flying out the blocks, and then Australia really have managed to put the brakes on.
Yeah, South Africa's middle order really struggling after, like you said, a strong start actually from Wolvart especially, but the partnership of Wolvart and Brits. Yeah, Derrickson, since she's come into the side, she hasn't managed to impact the game. Scores of 2 and 9, now 5 in her 3 World Cup matches so far.
Unsurprisingly, Alana King has the best figures in the World Cup and so far in this World Cup, and it's not inconceivable she won't add to that. Gardner into class, who defends into the offside off the front foot towards extra cover. Dot ball. Yeah, they were 32 without loss. South Africa, Wolvart flying. She had 31 of those, but as soon as she was removed from a leading edge from the bowling of Shoot, it really has all been Australia. And then as soon as Alana King came into the attack, it's been a completely different game. 82 for 7. Sabata class rocks back and tucks this off an leading edge out towards deep backward square leg. Quite how that's ballooned like that out there is beyond me, but she gets a single for it. South Africa on to 83 for 7.
Well, it's another single, but there've hardly been any singles in this innings. South Africa's 83 runs, 72 of them have come in boundaries, 18 fours they've hit.
That's my kind of cricket, that. Save your legs.
Save your legs.
Yeah, I can't remember a 2 being run for sure. Gardner into de Klerk, who turns this into the onside. Off the back foot, the late call of potentially 2 is ignored, so just 1 added to the score, 84 for 7.
Yeah, Wolvart dealt in boundaries early, Jafta dealt in boundaries, and the 2 of them have scored the bulk of these 84 runs.
It's all just happened so quickly as well. Just 18.3 overs. Gardner drifting down the leg side, attempted sweep by class, is missed. Umpire signals wide, 1 added to the score, 85 for 7. It doesn't even feel like we can criticise the lack of singles, because they haven't really had the opportunity to build anything where singles were necessary. They've all just got out. King over the, Gardner, full of length, defended by class into the offside dot ball.
Yeah, exactly. And you feel like Derrickson and Luce were the 2 that looked like they were struggling, and just felt like King had their number from the get-go.
Gardner down the leg side, attempted sweep by class again, missed. Find out whether that's flicked anything on the way through. The umpire says yes, so it's a dot ball. Not a fantastic delivery from Ash Gardner. Yeah, so when Luce hoiked that one up, wasn't it? Second ball of Alana King's spell, I think. Just hoiked it straight up in the air. Kind of started the rock. King outside the off stump. Gardner outside the off stump is clipped by class up towards long on for an easy single. 1 added to the score, 86 for 7. And that's the end of the over. Gardner none for 13 from her 2, just 4 from that over. The off spinner. Can't imagine it'd be that long before we see Georgia Wareham into the attack, given the carnage that Alana King has caused with her wrist spin. 86 for 7 from 19 overs, 31 overs left in this innings. Class has 3, de Klerk 5, and de Klerk's watched all the carnage from the other end.
It's so difficult now when you're the 2 batters out there, or the last 2 waiting to bat in the shed. Such a difficult situation, the morale is down, but there's still a game to be played, and a game still essentially to try and win. Long way to go.
King continues, unsurprisingly, is nudged off the front foot towards mid-on. The field is inside the ring. There is a dot ball. Yeah, and the winner of this game, we have to remind people, will finish top of the group, therefore will face India and get the extra day's rest between the fixtures. The loser will play against England on the 29th. The winner plays on the 30th. This World Cup comes to its climax. Slip in. King over the wicket. That was a good length, and class goes back and it hits the inside edge and dribbles into the onside behind square. The batters trot through for a single. 87 for 7.
It's a brilliant infographic here on our screen with Alana King's double wicket maiden that she bowled early on. A few of those balls just sliding on, 2 degrees of spin. The one that got capped, 7.9 degrees of spin. It was loopy, it was full outside the off stump, it spun away.
King defended into the offside by de Klerk to forward point, dot ball. And how much in control of that are you as a spinner, Kirsty? Clearly you bowl finger spin and King bowls wrist spin, but when you bowl it slow, you give it more of a chance to spin, I'd imagine. King Back of her mark, no slip now to de Klerk, who sweeps into the onside off the toe of the bat out towards deep mid-wicket. 1 added to the score.
Well, Kingy probably more than me, and that's why she's out there and I'm sat here. But yeah, I think certainly when you bowl slower and you drive through that action and give it some more air, you're giving it more chance to spin, you're giving it more chance to drift. And it's the drift as much as it is the spin in these conditions. You see Alana King drift the ball into the right-hander and spin it away.
This is towards mid-on, off the splice of the bat by Klaas, but about 5 feet in front of the fielder there, dot ball.
But I think that's the skill of bowling spin. And I know for me, certainly, sometimes it is natural variation. I'm trying to spin a lot of the balls that I bowl.
King to complete the over. Bowled! Past the inside edge. And Alana King is having an absolute day out here. What a ridiculous spell of bowling this is. Finishes the over, beating the inside edge, knocking the off stump out of the ground, and the crowd stand and applaud. Her teammates grin. South Africa in absolute turmoil at 88 for 8.
Well, I'm speechless. It's another wicket.
I could tell there. I was going, do I need to keep talking? Or?
It's another wicket for Alana King. It's been incredible, and that is exactly the point I was going on to make about the art of spin and how sometimes the natural variation of the ball sliding on, sometimes it will hit the seam straight on and skid on. It might hit the shiny side for a wrist spinner like Alana King and just slide on. It's beaten Klaas on the inside edge, which shows she's probably thinking about the turn, but it's just slid on between bat and pad. Excellent bowling. Another wicket. Yeah, another wicket. Excellent bowling. And as carnage ensues, I'm going to remove myself from the commentary box, and Nikki Chowdhury is going to take over for probably the conclusion of this innings, I would say.
Don't know about you, Kirsty, but I have never seen a spell like this. This is really something special from Alana King.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I have. I've seen Danae van Niekerk with an incredible spell before in the 2017 World Cup, but she didn't finish with a 6-for.
Bonga Kaka comes out into the middle, but it's Gardner in to de Klerk, who just plays this off the back foot close to the face of the bat to mid-wicket. It really is something special. She's all over the South Africans. Gardner in, and de Klerk off the back foot, turns us behind square, runs the first one hard, eyeing up the second, and decides against it as 3 Australian fielders come charging towards the ball behind square.
Well, it's the right decision. The last thing they need right now is a run out. That would just be insult to injury in the current situation. So a gentleman from the crowd signals 6 for 6 wickets for Alana King. He's been at every game, I think.
Gardner in now, and Kaka just opens the blade to short third. Doesn't get it past the fielder. Yeah, I wouldn't put it past me, but I think he might be an Alana King fan. Really doing something special out here as Gardner in again, gets over that front leg, and Kaka forward in defence. Into the 21st over, South Africa in deep, deep trouble. 89 for 8. Wickets have just been tumbling. On the back of a length, and there's a shout. Looks like it's sliding down leg side. Gets Kaka on the back pad.
Well, playing wrist spin as a top order batter, you see all sorts of good players getting in trouble. It's not easy. Playing it as a lower order batter, let me assure you, is a whole different stress.
Gardner in, a bit of width. Kaka drives and goes straight to King, who's fielding at cover.
And Finney's right. I'm surprised they haven't got Wareham into the attack. That would just, if I was out there batting at number 10, that would just be the end of me, thinking I've got leg spin to fend from both ends now.
And just the 1 run off that over from Ash Gardner. And 21 overs gone. South Africa 89 for 8. Well, Alana King 6 for 15. Best figures, ICC Women's Cricket World Cup in at number 2. Topping the table was Jacqueline Lord versus India. in 1982, 6 for 10. But really, this is something special. As King is in again, and de Klerk off the back foot just plays this to Perry, who's at short third.
And she's got the chance to overtake Jacqueline Lord here. She's got many overs left, but only 2 wickets to play with.
Really is hogging the wickets here, isn't she? Ash Gardner at the other end. Yet to contribute in that column as this one is just blocked out to cover by de Klerk.
Yeah, I really hope Kingy's letting her know as well, saying, come on, Ash, mate, get in on the action. What are you doing?
Come on, Kingy!
Words of encouragement being picked up on the stump mic as well. Really something special as King skips in, offers a bit of flight, and de Klerk forward pushes this to extra cover. The crowd in at indoor, Kirsty, really are witnessing something special.
They are, that's for sure. A special bowling display.
King in now, and de Klerk forward. Gets a thickish edge on this as it goes down towards short third. Doesn't come through for a single. Dots building here.
They might not feel, the crowd might not feel like they're going to get the money's worth, though, because I can't see this game going 100 overs.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you there as King in again and de Klerk forward in defence. Well, this is what you get when you come to a stadium and watch the world's #1 side in action. They're a class apart, and they're really displaying why. Got a big smile on her face. She looks so relaxed, Alana King, with ball in hand. At the top of a mark, skips through again. Off the back foot, de Klerk just drops this towards short third. Will come through for a quick single. She looked like very desperate to get off strike there. End of the over, 22 overs gone. 1 run from that over. South Africa 90 for 8.
Well, it's good batting by Nadine de Klerk. She probably realises she has to try and face as much of the leg spin as possible, much of the bowling, to be honest, as possible. And she snuck a single on the last ball of the over to retain the strike into the 23rd over. Some spell of bowling we've just witnessed. I was glad to be on air for that, but I'm also glad to hand over to Phoebe Graham now.
Thanks very much, Kirsty. We'll hear from Kirsty in a short while as Ash Gardner's in. De Klerk down on one knee and gets this to run fine. Past 45. Just double check she's managed to get some bat on it. She has. I'll go away for 4. As well as welcome back Phoebe Graham.
Well, a much needed boundary there from South Africa. They've really been sharked today by Alana King, who's been absolutely incredible.
Leg spin masterclass as in comes Gardner now, and de Klerk forward, drives this forcefully back towards Ash Gardner, manages to get a hand on it, rolls herself on the floor.
It really has been a masterclass, hasn't it? The way that she's bowled today has been a pleasure to watch, and it just looks like every delivery there's a wicket coming.
De Klerk off the back foot just turns this behind square for a single. Megan Shute comes in from the boundary to field. Oh, it really has, and well, she'll definitely remember this this spell, and as will the crowd in indoor. There's some very, very strong Alana King fans out there with big posters. As Kaka's forward and beats the blade, and Ash Gardner gets her first wicket. Bold. South Africa crumbling to pieces.
Well, Gardner joins the party. Faster delivery there to Kaka. Clips her outside edge and then takes off stump, out the ground. A brilliant delivery to take up the wicket of Kaka.
And a little punch in the air from Ash Gardner. She finally is able to contribute to the wickets column. Kaka goes for none. And South Africa 9 down, 95 runs on the board. Phoebe, will they even get 100?
I think that will be the question in hand. De Klerk actually looks really comfortable at the other end, 13 from 19, but she's certainly running out of partners as Mlabla joins her at the crease, the last wicket for South Africa. We were hoping that first game against England was where they were bowled out for 69. was just a bit of a freak game and occasion, but when they faced the better opposition, South Africa haven't looked half the team that they have been throughout this tournament.
Absolutely not. Malaba comes out into the middle, goes forward and pushes this to mid-on. And well, she'll really be fielding Australia right up there in her grill as well. Well, South Africa, they took that thumping against England in the opening game, and well, they're having a pretty similar show of it out here in indoor. South Africa fans covering their mouths in shock in the stands as Gardner's in, and Malaba lunges forward into a solid defence. And grabs her hat from the umpire, does Ash Gardner, to conclude the over as well. De Klerk coming into the middle with Malaba having a conversation. 23 overs gone, South Africa 95 for 9. What do you say at this point? Because I feel a bit sorry for Nadine de Klerk. She's just watching wickets tumble from the non-strikers' end.
Yeah, she's got a real job here to not only home the strike, but try and get South Africa to triple figures, to 110, 120, give them something to bowl at. But she's doing it against Lana King, who's just been outstanding. She's 6 for 16 off her 6 overs and the star of the show.
King's in now and gets a bit of turn, gets a thickish edge. That runs along the ground towards short third.
And these will be Alana King's best international figures. Previous against England last year, 5 for 46 in an ODI in Hobart.
King in again, and De Klerk off the back foot. Plays that to Kim Garth at short third yet again. And well, one thing about King is that she's just kept the stumps in play a majority of the time. And obviously she's got no control of how much spin she's been able to get on it. So as a batter, you're constantly thinking, do I play at this one? Do I leave, or do I go off the back foot as well? As this one is pumped up and over extra cover and down towards long on, where Megan Shute fields. It will just be a single.
Yeah, got those fielders out on the boundary for De Klerk. Very happy for South Africa to take the single. She'll have 3 deliveries here at Malaba. And she'll be hoping to turn her 6 wickets to 7. Will Alana King, who just looks so comfortable with ball in hand. She's barely missed the stumps, and if she has, it's been getting that extra turn, that extra flight, beating the outside edge. So threatening today.
Slip in play for Malaba, who's forward. And a lot of excitement going on out there in the middle. Ball just rolls to slip.
Yeah, it was well down by Georgie Voller. Just one bounce into the springing, diving left of Georgia Vol.
King in again and gets a thick edge on it, and it's gone past Bertha Mooney and will race down just past the short third region. Kim Garth chases. I'll just get... Oh, she stays on strike. She doesn't actually take the single there.
Yeah, didn't take the single there, which I think you would just want Nadine de Klerk to face one more delivery, but going for the survival approach so that Nadine de Klerk can be on strike.
And bowled. King in, and there's a bit of turn on offer. De Klerk goes on the back foot and gets completely outdone, and Australia have bowled out South Africa for 97 in indoor. What a performance from Alana King, and what a round of applause she is getting from the crowd at indoor as well. 7 overs, 7 for 18. Outstanding figures, career best figures for her, as she gets hugged by her teammates. What a performance this is, Phoebe.
How good from Alana King. And probably the best delivery of the day there to finish, to take the off stump of Nadine de Klerk. Pitches on leg, hits top of off. Absolutely brilliant from Alana King. 7 for 18 off her 7 overs. She's been unplayable today, and she really has rattled through that South African order.
She really has. It's like they've got somewhere to be, and I'm pretty sure I know who I'm giving my Player of the Match award to, Phoebe, already, without a doubt. And, well, Australia, very, very happy. Nadine de Klerk, just seeing visuals of her wicket. again, and she looks completely clueless about that delivery.
Yeah, she's probably the one batter in the South African lineup who's played Alana King well today. But that ball was the best of them all, pitching on leg, hitting top of off. Kingy walks off in front, ball in pocket. She's bowled brilliantly today, absolutely outstanding, single-handedly taken down the South African attack. She raises the ball in the air to the crowd.
Hugs galore from her teammates who are in the dugout. And standing ovation from the crowd. Really something special.
The Australian team obviously bringing Wareham into the attack for Sophie Molyneux today as well. The other leg spinner who didn't even get the opportunity to bowl, wasn't required. Alana King doing the job herself. 7 overs, 7 wickets for 18 runs. Outstanding. Barely left the stumps all day. I think the percentage hitting the stumps was at 50%. Those other 50% were in and around 4th, 5th stump with the extra spin and drift she was getting.
Well, her name was all over that South African batting card. And, well, it really is something she should be proud of. Top score of 31 from Laura Waldvart with the bat, and then Jafta being able to contribute with 29. But apart from that, it's definitely been the Alana King show in indoor, and well, she really has given us a masterclass on how to bowl leg spin with precision, and that's the reward you get for it. 97 all out South Africa. And Phoebe, well, this really is something special, and I just have a very strong feeling that Australia won't be hanging around in this chase.
No, I don't think they will be either. South Africa have done it again. They've fallen at the better teams in the competition. We saw it in the first game, 69 all out against England.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll just quickly listen in on a quick chat with Alana King after that special performance.
Or trying to put Australia into a good position and to bowl a quality side out like South Africa. To keep them under 100 is something that we're pretty pumped about.
Talk to us about the surface and what your plans were on this pitch.
Yeah, we've played here a few games now, so I did extract a bit of spin first game and then even against England a couple of days ago. So we know there's going to be a little bit of spin. It could hold a little bit, but again, when you play on a new pitch, you've got to assess conditions as soon as you can. So I thought with a little bit of drizzle, it might have slid on a little bit, but to still extract a bit of spin, I'm pretty pleased with that.
25 wickets in the format for you just this year alone. That's on the back of 19 last year. Tell us about your form and what you've done to get to this point.
To be honest, I haven't changed too much. I think I've got some great coaches and mentors and even teammates around me to help get better, keep evolving my game, and I just want to keep doing my role for Australia. I love playing for this team, and I love taking wickets for this team and hoping to put us in good positions. But I wouldn't say a whole lot's changed in 12 months. If anything, I've just tried to become a lot consistent with my stock ball and trust that, and it's been my go-to ball, and it's given me the reward.
You mentioned evolving your game. What's next then for Alana King? What are we going to see from you next?
I don't know, maybe up the batting order, but we'll see with that. But I'm very happy to be a bowler in this team and put my feet up and let the batters go to work. It's a great team to be a part of, and we've got an amazing culture in the group, and we've got a lot of self-belief within ourselves and within each other. So, yeah, it's a pretty good change room to be a part of.
That was very special to watch. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, Alana King speaking there. What terrific bowling figures for her in this game. It's been the Alana King show, and, well, something really, really special. I mean, what a year she's had, just hearing that 25 ODI wickets for her in 2025, Phoebe.
Yeah, she's been outstanding with the ball in hand and wants to get up that Australian order as well, which she has played some fabulous knocks as well. But today, outstanding with the ball, 7 for 18, 4 of those coming clean bowled. And I think there'll be the sort of wickets that are on repeat throughout your socials, throughout the day, throughout the next week. And South Africa really, really struggling against the spin. We've seen that throughout the tournament. It's a weakness of theirs with the bat in hand, but Alana King, outstanding, just phenomenal today.
Yeah, best figures in ICC Women's World Cup history. And while Australia just need 98 runs from their 50 overs, that required run rate is very much not challenging. Less than 2 required from them. And, well, it really has been the Alana King show here. South Africa bowled out for 97, all 7 wickets of those belonging to Alana King. Well, she's been the star of the show at the moment in indoor, and she's ripped through South Africa today. And she spoke to Kate Cross and Alex Hartley on No Balls, the cricket podcast, earlier this summer while she was in the UK playing for Lancashire and Trent Rockets in the 100.
Alex, I want to introduce to you one of Australia's best leg spin bowlers they have produced in the recent past, and that is the wonderful Alana King.
Yeah, Kingy.
Hello, ladies. I'm great. How are you guys?
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Yeah, I'm all right.
She's poorly. She don't want to say it because she knows I'll moan at her, but she's poorly.
Well, what's going on?
Well, I woke up at 2:15 because I'm just not very well.
That's a shame. You've still got a few more games to go, so get some vitamin C into you.
You've been in England for a while. You came over and you played with Crossy for Lancs. How have you found playing in England all summer?
I've actually loved it. It's been a great experience. I've loved Lancashire. Playing with Crossy is the first time we've played together, which has actually been really nice. And I think that the 2 months that I was at Lancashire playing in the Blast, I had a lot of fun. I learnt a lot. And that's what I came over to do. I just wanted to, work with different people, work with different coaches, keep getting better at my game. And, yeah, had a lot of fun doing that as well.
So we feel like there's been a lot of Australians that have been released to come and play English cricket this summer, and we're wondering, with a World Cup in 2026 in England, is it got anything to do with that?
Maybe. No, I think it was more so case by case with the players who came over, and we had to, discuss with CA why we wanted to come over, and it's obviously a long time given the international schedule's pretty busy for us from the 100 over into the World Cup, and plenty of series to come. So it was just more so for me just to keep playing cricket, keep getting better at T20 cricket, and just keep expanding my game. So I think that was a pretty good enough excuse to head over here, and yeah, I've had no regrets and I've absolutely loved it.
Have you played much in England in your career?
No, this is the first time I've actually done like a county stint, which has been so much fun. I've only just come and played the 100 or for international duties, but yeah, this is great to be in one spot for a chunk of time and actually get into work and change a few things and work out a few things. And I think that's been the best thing for me. And I've had a lot of fun. The Lancs girls were awesome, and having Crossy and Lammy there when they could be, and Eccles as well was great to be a part of.
You're teasing us, Kingy. You keep saying you've worked on things and you've learned things. What have you learned?
I think working with Chris Reid for the last couple of years of the 100 at the Trent Rockets, spending a bit more time with him in terms of the batting side of things, just. Making sure that I've got a bit more rhythm and a bit more tempo when I go about my things, because I think my batting I'm in different situations with it all the time, but just making sure that I'm really relaxed. And we just figured out some stuff with my wrists and my hands when I'm holding the bat. So that's been really cool to unlock. And then working with the great Stephen Parry with the Paz bowling side of things.
That's the first mention he's ever had on this podcast, actually. And Alex has worked with him, I've worked with him, and you've now worked with him, and he'll be buzzing. He's got his little shout out.
I've absolutely loved working with Paz. He's a rare cat, and he knows it, which is, I think that just makes it a bit more special, because he loves to talk, and I love to talk as well. So I think that's why we've probably got along really well. But he's just so knowledgeable about the game, and he just saw it from a different lens, and it's always nice to see spin bowling from a different perspective. But he was great, and I've loved working with him, and hopefully, we can continue along the way and along my career. That would be awesome.
Stephen Parry, for anyone that doesn't know, is one of those people that when you see them, you have to be like, wow, how many Red Bulls have you had, or how many coffees have you had today? And he's like, no, mate, don't touch caffeine. Don't touch caffeine, me.
I don't
he's
need it.
Up all the time. And then you almost have to go and sit him in a corner when he's really annoying everyone, and just let him almost get rid of his energy. Settle down, Stephen. Yeah, but he's a great character to have.
Yeah, we did take a couple of weeks to even chat together, because he gave me donuts when I first came over, and I was like, oh, okay, like I've got to work all this out myself. But then I think we played a blast game in maybe Taunton. And then I went and sat at the front of the bus where he was just chilling and just watching the world go by on our 6-hour journey back to Manchester. And then I was just like, have you got anything for me? And then as soon as I probed him, and then it was just like, bang, like he just had all these ideas, and he was like, I was just trying to work you out. I was like, well, I was just trying to work you out. I didn't know if you were going to talk to me these whole 2 months that I was going to be here. But no, he's an absolute ripper, and just picked his brain about the knowledge of the game and spin bowling, which I love talking about. But
his tactical brain is incredible, isn't it?
Amazing, yeah.
Yeah, I think by far one of the best I've ever tapped into, to be honest. And I think he puts off this like larrikin kind of facade and doesn't really care much. But I think deep down, if you actually spend some time with him, he's full of knowledge, full of tricks, and he cares so much about his players, which I thoroughly enjoyed.
Larrikin is a word I've heard twice in the last 24 hours, and I'd never heard it up until this point. But Kristen Beams said it to us yesterday, was it?
I don't even know what it means.
It's like, does it mean like the Joker? Like a bit?
Yeah.
Larrikin.
Just a bit like different, bit loud, bit different, bit of a
This is not just an entertainment podcast; it's a learning podcast.
Educational. You can learn everything on this podcast.
What, for Australian slang?
Yeah.
Kingy, so this is the first time that we've had the Vitality Blast, which is what you came over and played in. I know you played a couple of 50-over games at the end of your stint, but how did you find, because this is also new for a lot of our domestic girls, like back-to-back games and all the travel that we do with the buses? And because I remember seeing Grace Harris at played them at the Oval, and she was like, I didn't know I'd signed up to this, basically. She was like, these back-to-back games are a lot.
Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest thing that we all kind of shocked us, and probably just didn't quite comprehend the amount of travel that you do. And you, especially if you're playing in a central team, that's fine, you don't have to travel as much. But when you like based in Manchester and you're traveling to Taunton, that's like 6 hours. You play the game, get to the game 3.5 hours early, and then
yep. Shout out, Reedy.
I reckon there's a story there.
And then you play the game and it's great, and then the next morning or that night you're on to the next place to play the next day. And I think, it's a lot different when you're sitting on a bus. I think that's the biggest adjustment that we've had to make. And I think it just emphasised how like important recovery is, and making sure that your body's good to go for the next game. And the games came thick and fast, but then I think we had a pretty good schedule. We had a few games, and then we had a bit of a break, and then a few games, and then a bit of a break. So.
And you did some good stuff in the break, didn't you?
Yeah, had some good stuff in the break. Just got to see a little bit of Europe, which was nice. And
how good is that?
Did you?
How
you
good
just
is
pop
that?
Around Europe?
Yeah, well, that's the best thing about being here, I guess. You guys are so close to everything that us Aussies want to travel. But if we want to come over here, we've got to take, 4 to 6 weeks to actually go see a bit of Europe, a lot of Europe. Whereas you guys hop on a plane 2 hours later, spend a weekend, and then
we don't
We don't do it. We should do it more often. If Alana King can do it in between blast games, then we can do it, Al.
Where did you go? What did you see?
Malaga, crossing.
Oh, Malaga, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Don't let the truth get in the way of a good story.
No, Tara Norris led me astray and was like, you've got to go to Malaga. And I was like, great, because I've always wanted to go to Spain. And she gave me some recommendations, and I kind of conned Heather Graham to come along with me. We played them at Leicester on the Thursday. Oh, I can't remember what day. Maybe it was a Wednesday. And I was like, why don't you just come to Malaga with me? Like, we've got the next little bit off. And then that night she was like, all right, I've booked my flight and here we go. So it was such a spontaneous thing. But went to Malaga, that was awesome. Then had a weekend in Scotland, which was cool. I've never been. I thought we were playing in Blackpool.
Which was playing in Blackpool.
Oh, it was a story.
We've shown the sites, Al. We've shown. Oh my God, I forgot about this.
It was a day on the way to Blackpool.
It was a real day. Do you want to tell the story?
Go on. No, you can give your perspective, and then I can fill in the blanks.
I wasn't there. I only heard about this because I was away with England at the time. But someone told me that Alana had been in the back of a police car on the way to Blackpool.
No, Crossy, that's a different time.
Oh, sorry, different story.
Oh, God.
You tell it then. Go on, you tell it. Tell us what happened, Kingy.
Way to sell me up the river here. Okay. So Blackpool was our captain, Ellie Threlkeld, had a rough couple of 48 hours, and long story short, she crashed her car and she didn't have a way to get up to Blackpool. So I was like, all right, mate, I'll come pick you up. We'll have a road trip up to Blackpool, and we'll play the game. Anyhow, pick her up, and then we jump back on the M6, the famous M6. And then all of a sudden, like, there's a bit of traffic, and we're like, oh, okay. This traffic turned into waiting on the M6 for 4 hours because there was a lorry, as you guys would call it, a lorry fire. So, and we were just like, oh, like this is tough. And then we've got,
this is morning of the game, isn't it?
Yeah, morning of the game. So we're in comms with Chris Reid, the coach, and we're just like, okay, it's creeping up, like the time on the M6 is creeping up. And then it got to a stage where we've had about 10 phone calls with him, and he's like, I don't think you two are making the game because...
No captain, no overseas.
Yeah,
Right.
And this would be the first time Threlkeld would have missed a game for Lancashire in her career. And I was like, great, I'm part of it. And I'm driving the captain as well. Like, this is brilliant. So then Lancashire told all the girls from the extended squad, we need you here because we've actually got, there was 5 of us on the M6 who was just stuck. No moving, nothing. And we're just like, oh my God, we're not going to play this. We're stuck in traffic.
Forfeit a game.
Well, lucky that the girls actually got there in time. So they have the squad ballots, and anyhow, it was going to expected us to be in Blackpool at like 4:30. Well and truly after the game starting at 3. Anyhow, we got like finally the road cleared. We got there as quickly as we could. We literally pulled up, got our kit on. Threlkeld put her reds on, did the toss. We had 15 minutes to warm up. So I was like, do I warm up or do I eat? I haven't eaten in 5 hours or 6 hours since breakfast. So I prioritised eating. So I was just sitting there eating. Threlkeld had done the toss. Great, we're bowling. I was like, I need to warm up.
Did she win the toss and bowl?
No, I think we lost the toss.
I was going to say, surely she's batting. Surely, whatever the conditions are, you're just having a bat then.
I think we lost the toss, and I was like, oh my God, I've got to warm up, like, my shoulders, my back, everything, really. I'm doing my warm-up as we are running out to field, and the first, like, 5 to 10 overs, I'm still warming up, and then Threlkeld throws into the ball, and I was like, oh my God, I've never done this before. Anyhow, lo and behold, the game ended up in a tie on the last ball.
Because you hit a 6 off the last ball to win the game, to tie the game.
So, yeah, that was from that experience. Then I drove.
So when did you get stopped by the police car then?
Okay, this was on our way. Yeah. Okay, for all the listeners out there, again, we were on the M6, my favourite place to drive, and I see these flashing, again, Threlkeld is in the car with me, by the way. So clearly we shouldn't be travelling together. I see the cop car behind me, and I was like, oh, the lights are on. I'm like, oh, okay. And Threlked's like, maybe just pull over. I was like, yeah, I'll move over. Cop car follows me. I was like, Threlked, I'll pull over again. She's like, no, like, I think you need to pull over, like, hard shoulder. And I was like, and cop car pulls me over. We stop, and I was like, oh my God, this never happened. Yeah. And then anyhow, the cop like winds down the window and was like, just want to check, like, I've got your car unregistered and uninsured. And I was like, and I just went blank. And Threlkeld was like, I think this is a club car, like this is our overseas player and it should be like the club's responsibility. And he's like, bless him, he was actually a really nice guy. And he was like,
no English.
Yeah. Yeah, no English. And then he was really nice. He's like, no worries. I believe you girls, but because I've stopped you, I need to fill in some paperwork. And I was like, and then Threlkeld is absolutely himself laughing. So I hop out and he's like, yeah, just make sure you're safe to get out. Anyhow, so clearly I've never been pulled over by the cops or been in a cop car before. So he's like, I just need to grab a seat and I just need to get some details. No problem. I go in to jump in the front seat. And he's like, no, in the back. And I was like, oh, yep, okay, yep, this is really real. And then he was just like getting a few details and he was sound. It was all good. But My God, if I had a GoPro in our car, Threlks was just laughing. And
also, there was two of our, we do this exchange thing with New South Wales where two of our girls go over to Australia in the winter for 4 weeks to train. So we get two girls back. So there's these two young girls in the back of the car just sat there while Kingy gets pulled over by the police and Ellie's just laughing at her.
Oh, and then, yeah.
I can't believe you tried to get in the front of the car.
Panic Al, I've never been, and I just thought he was being friendly, and then he actually was like, no, you wouldn't fit in the front seat because there's lots of paperwork and stuff. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get proper arrested, but it was.
And then we do of the day at Lancs, where you've got to wear the horrible shirt and the hat. And Kingy didn't get it. She got stopped by the police, pulled over, arrested, and Meeks got it for thinking that chickens produce milk. How's that happened?
Yeah, correct. That is such a question. Mine had nothing to do with me. If anything, that was no comment, actually. Never mind.
Wow, I completely forgot about those stories. I should have written them down, but we've completely gone off my very professional planned piece of paper that's actually just my sign-in sheet for the hotel I'm in. We actually wanted to talk to you a bit about Kingy, about how, obviously leg spin is such a difficult skill. I don't even think we've had any leggies on this podcast, have we all?
I don't think so.
If we have, we've forgotten about you, so we're really sorry.
You're the best one.
Thank you.
You're the best.
Appreciate it.
Why leg spin? Because it is notoriously hard to be good at leg spin.
I think just because there's so many variations of bowling leg spin. I don't think everyone's built the same. And I think that's just with every bowling, I guess. But for some reason, I think leg spin, I would always be a bit biased, is because of you've got to get your wrist in the perfect position to create that drift and to create that turn off the wicket. And you get a lot of leg spinners around the world who are quite high release. So they can't actually get that snap off the wrist to create that nice, drift outside leg or on leg stump line to go outside off. You get quite high releases, and that comes from a lot of tall spinners. And they can only get a lot of top spin off the ball because they can't change their wrist angle to get that spin. And also cricket being more white ball dominant now, I think the art of leg spin, you don't see the Shane Warnes in white ball cricket anymore. You see a lot of bowlers bowling like Rashid Khan because he's so successful in the white ball game, right? I think some teams and some people are just scared of the traditional leg spin of having a little bit of flight on it, seeing that drift, because they think it's going to get taken for plenty of runs. And no doubt there's going to be times that the ball will come out extremely well and you will get hit all around the park. But I just think sometimes spin bowling to me is a feel thing, and you could feel so good one game and feel great at training, and then in a game you can feel completely different. It's the pressure of the game, it's the batter you're bowling against, it's a situation. So many parts of it come into mind, but I just think it's a big feel thing, and you can't really teach feel. You've got to find it, and you've got to find the rhythm yourself, no matter how much. I love
how you're smiling talking about leg spin here.
I know, yeah.
You're passionate about this.
Well, yeah. Great. So who got you into it? What's made you pick up a ball as a kid and go, I'm going to try and...
Well, my brother, he was the first one who introduced leg spin. As every kid starts off, you start off as a medium pace bowler because it's probably the easiest technique to follow, right? You got the old windmill arms and rock and roll type thing, whereas he was like, why don't you just try some spin bowling? And then he's a bit older than me, so he watched Shane Warne, and he was like, well, this is what Shane Warne does. And I was like, oh, okay. So I kind of got led astray because I didn't realise how hard it was at 10, 11 years old. And then I just started really enjoying seeing a ball spin. And I think,
that's cool.
I think I was like, oh my God, it's doing so much of synthetic. I was like, this is so cool. And I actually thought it was just really cool. And then the moment I started watching Warnie bowl at the MCG, Boxing Day was a ritual for our family. We'd always go, and no matter who was playing, if it was Australia, India, obviously it was big, but just to see him bowl, to see him on TV was probably I'm like, wow, this is so much fun. And he looked like he had fun, and I was like, I always wanted to be like him. It was in any sport that I played. It was Serena Williams when I wanted to play tennis. I wanted to be in Grand Slams playing tennis. So yeah, just to see people have fun doing what they did. I was like, I want to be that. I want to do that.
So when you started bowling leg spin, you've gone to watch Shane Warne. What was it like when you first met him then?
Oh, I was in awe. It was like a kid in a candy store. Like when you look at someone and they become kind of be your idol. I'm just like, oh my God, this is like so cool. You're in his presence and you know what? He actually understood what he was doing in terms of like, he was with a bunch of primary school kids bowling with a leg spin bowling masterclass. And he just kept it really simple. I've said this before, but he just kind of encouraged kids to rip it as hard as you can and do it with like a smile on your face. And like, because that's what he did. And I was like, doesn't matter how hard it is, just keep ripping it and have fun doing it. And they're like, that's what I'm like always will take into my career and bowling leg spin. I'm just like, yeah, it's hard, but like it's so much fun, and the reward is so great is when you see that beautiful one that drifts, grips, turns. That's what gives me pure joy.
And you have that. You bowled those so many magic balls.
Oh, I wouldn't call it magic balls, but
come on.
No, you've had some belters. Yeah. You do. Me and Al were reeling them off before we came on. So you had obviously that absolute worldie that got me out at Old Trafford.
What, that hat-trick ball? That straight one.
Yeah, that was a straight one I missed. No, the dunks. The dunks got a good one in the Test match, I think. Outside leg, clip top of off, and then you got Bess with a brilliant one at Headingley last year in the 100. Similar. She went back. I always say to her when it comes up on replays, I'm like, Bess, she just swept that, mate.
Yeah, should have swept that.
I know. It just swept.
Yeah, but like they don't happen all the time, right? Like, I think that's the beauty of it, because sometimes they just come out so well, but sometimes that ball can get hit for six. It could drift, it could spin, but someone like Pez or Meg can just come out of the blocks and absolutely hit your best ball for six. Nat Silverbrunt, hate bowling to her because she's one of the hardest people to bowl to. You might be feeling
clever being in her team then. Yeah. Very clever. Go to Trent Rockets, you don't have to bowl that.
Yeah.
Smart lady. Kingy, you said that.
Well, Alana King there speaking to Kate Cross and Alex Hartley on no balls when she was here in England. Well, when she was in England earlier this summer, playing for Lancashire and Trent Rockets in the 100. And well, we are back with action as Australia gets set for this chase. Joining me for the next 20 minutes of plays, Kirsty Gordon. Well, Kirsty, I think Australia will look to get a move on. They've got a target of 98. There is some bad weather in conversation around the stadium, so I'm sure they would not want rain to interrupt this game.
Well, if there's one thing we know about Australia is they don't really tend to look at what the opposition have done in the first innings. They're going to play their way regardless of what they're chasing, whether it be 300 or just the 98 like it is this afternoon. Litchfield and Vol, dangerous opening combination. Vol, just her second game in her World Cup career. The first one didn't go to plan. She'll be hoping to make more of an impression today.
Absolutely. And well, if you're tuning in and you're just wondering how on earth are we in for the second chase already, it's because South Africa bowled out for 97 career best figures for Alana King, 7 for 18. And well, she really did cause carnage out there in the middle as Australia get ready to chase down this target. 98 runs required. And we really did witness something super special. Leg spin masterclass from Alana King. And Marizanne Kapp to open the bowling here for South Africa as she's into the left-handed bowl who lets that one go, Litchfield, and lets that one go through outside the off stump.
Well, when Australia played Bangladesh earlier in the competition, Bangladesh scored 198 off their 50 overs. They weren't bowled out, they batted the whole 50 overs. Australia chased it down inside 25 overs. 200 inside 25 overs.
That's pretty crazy as Kapp is in now and Litchfield forward, takes a swing at this one. It beats the bat and goes through. 2 dots to start off with here. And just a quick reminder to listeners as well, it's a top of the table clash. Both teams already qualified, but winner of this game, which to me should be this team in yellow, well, will cement that number 1 position. And they'll also get an extra rest day as we go in to the knockout stage. as Cap makes her way through, and Litchfield now forward in defence. Ball goes to Clerk, who comes in from point to field. And, well, I guess that's a big advantage as well going into the knockouts. An extra rest day. It's been pretty relentless. A lot of travel, a lot of games, and adapting to conditions as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been the pro and the con of this World Cup, the different pitches, the different conditions that they've come up against.
Zone Cap into Phoebe Litchfield, forward. Again, defends. Ball goes to Nadine de Klerk. And Australia have been so dominating in this tournament. Unbeaten so far, 5 from 5, on track to make it 6 from 6. Unless, of course, South Africa do really pull off something special. Super special. It'll have to be something unbelievable. But they just really have been dominating with both bat and ball. As in runs Marizanne Cap. Now and Litchfield forward, this time in front of square. Plays this to the skipper, Laura Wolver, who fields extra cover.
Some nice early shape from Marizanne Cap. Something that actually the Australians struggled with. Megan Shute not getting the swing that she's made her name with over the last 10 to 15 years. But Cap shaping the ball nicely back into the left hand of Phoebe Litchfield.
Cap makes her way as Litchfield taps her bat in the stance and is forward and plays this right under her eyes. Ball goes to Nadine de Klerk, and that will conclude the end of the over. Maiden over there from Marizanne Cap. 1 over gone. Australia yet to score. And well, one stat I do have for you, Kirsty, is that Australia have never lost an ODI World Cup match to South Africa. So given how this game has played out so far, I think they'll be pretty close to cementing that stat to their name as well.
Yeah, I can't see that changing anytime soon. Certainly unlikely with how it's unfolded so far. The spin of Alana King. I wonder how quickly South Africa will get their spinners into the game. Will they have picked up from what Alana King has done? And obviously, you know, their seam attack is strong. They've picked the extra seamer today as well, but with such a low score to defend, they might well have to throw a carrot out towards Australia. Gamble, if you like.
Absolutely, as Ayabonga Kaka to open up proceedings from the other end. Career best figures 5 for 26 as in she strides to Georgia Vall, the right-hander, who's off the back foot, opens the blade and runs us down towards deep third. And ball is fielded just above the practice wickets there. And Australia open their account. And well, one thing is for sure is that England will be wondering who they'll bowl leg spin with against South Africa. And it's a good opportunity for Sarah Glenn to come into that side.
Yeah, it could be. I can't see England changing their 11, though. I think they'll focus internally. What have they done well? Who are their match winners?
Deep cover and a fine leg in for Kaka, who's in to the left-handed Litchfield. Forward, lets that one go by outside the off stump.
Yeah, I think the way that all three of England's spinners have bowled in this competition, it's made it nigh on impossible for Sarah Glenn to get a look in. Really, the only time she played, of course, when Sophie Eccleston was out with I think a bit of food poisoning, it might have been, a bit of the Delhi belly. I thought it was in Colombo, actually.
Kaka in and the Litchfield forward in defence goes to extra cover. But surely, after you've just seen the way South Africa have crumbled against Alana King, you would assume that you would try and get some leg spin in play in that 11 and cause some trouble.
Yeah, you certainly, there's no doubt Charlotte Edwards and her analysis team will have been watching today's game and reading into it.
Kaka in, and this one's up and over the in ring and down towards the boundary at deep cover. Litchfield kicks off the Australian innings with their first boundary. Really just slashes everything through that one, doesn't she?
It's a shot of aggression for sure by Phoebe Litchfield, and she's becoming famous for this no-look sort of shot over the top where she keeps her head down for as long as she can after the ball's long left the blade.
Kaka in again, Litchfield along the ground, pushes this to extra cover, ducks and fields.
Yeah, just back to England. There's no doubt they'll be watching the game. They'll be sort of reading into what they need to from a management point of view. But I don't think they'll let it stray their plans, their best game plans, whether South Africa had played brilliantly or not so well.
Back in, and Litchfield uses her feet, advances down the wicket and pushes this out to deep cover for a single. Marizanne Kapp comes through. She's riding the boundary rope over there. And that will also conclude the end of the second over. Australia 6 for no loss.
I think even more so considering the damage that England did to them in that England and South Africa's opening World Cup match, of course, where they bowled them out for 69. England will be full of confidence against the South African team. South African team that might be a bit down in the dumps as well after today.
Yeah, but it's also important they don't let it phase them too much. You don't want to go into the knockout stages having that in the back of your mind. Of course, it will play an impact, but you've got to look on and consider it a new game and just not let it bog you down.
Yeah, they have to look at it as a learning opportunity. They're in the semi-finals. They've got that guaranteed. Now let's learn from the errors that they've made today.
Marizanne Kapp runs in. Now as this is taken, edged by Litchfield and straight to try on at slip. And South Africa, they get their first breakthrough.
Fantastic bit of bowling there from Kapp. She threatened the inside and the outside edge through that first over. And this one, it just seams away from Litchfield's outside edge. It's a really good catch from Tryon. She doesn't have to dive, but it's low down to her left. She tracked it well. Well, is it too early to say? Is this an upset on the cards?
Oh, you never know. But they'll need to strike a few more times. Litchfield goes for 5. Australia lose their first. They're 6 for 1. And yeah, actually, really good catch there from Tryon, because that ball was going away to her left as well. She holds her position, watches the ball right into her hands. And by the looks of it, that has got some of the South African supporters up and on their feet already, shouting words of encouragement as Elise Perry takes a stroll out into the middle.
Well, it gives them something to cheer about for sure. There's been not much to cheer about for the poor South African fans so far, so I'm sure they will get up and about behind their team, behind their veteran opening bowler in Marizanne Kapp.
Elise Perry averaging 48 in ODI cricket. Takes her stance, slip stays, got a slip and a gully, deep third fine leg as Kapp is in, and Perry defends to mid-off, off the back foot. I think it's important South Africa have got that early breakthrough, otherwise if Litchfield and Vol got off on a roll, then, well, that would have really just, I think, put a dampener on the momentum South Africa would have. Well, now they'll think that if they can maybe just get 1 or 2 more here, although this Australian batting lineup is deep, but, you know, pressure does all sorts as Kapp is in. And Perry forward in defence. Kapp will feel that and she completes a follow-through.
Yeah, well, I was just thinking to myself there, South Africa managed to get Australia, 15 for 3, 15 for 4. Oh, they'd be in the game until Ash Gardner walked to the crease.
Yeah, that's the thing. They just bat so deep. Perry crouched low in her stance. Looks on as Kapp runs in. Beady eyes and pushes this one off the front foot to Sine Luz, who slides down to cut that one off. No run.
With Perry at the crease as well, she'll just be thinking, very similar player to, I guess, somebody like Laura Woolvart, very classical, plays each ball on its merit. I think her role, she'll just be happy to tick along, try and get a knot out at the end of this innings.
Yeah, see it through, no rushing. And she goes forward and lets this one go through to Jafta, outside the off stump, and well, so it's the second time now South Africa have been bowled out for less than 100 whilst batting in this year's World Cup. And the last time this has actually happened by a side was back in 2009 in the World Cup back then by Pakistan. They suffered a similar sort of battering against England and India. Hold out for less than 100 as Cap is in now. This is right on middle stump, and Perry forward. Full face of the bat, blocks it to mid-on. And it's a wicket maiden from Marizanne Cap. 3 overs gone, Australia 6 for 1.
Well, it's a good start from South Africa, like you said, and it's important that they started well to give them a bit of something to hold on to here. Something that they can take into their semi-final game, whomever that may be against, looking increasingly like it will be England. If they can start well with the ball, that'll be important for them. Perry actually on a relatively lean run of form for somebody of her quality. She did get 47 not out against India. In the rest of the World Cup, she's had scores of 33 against New Zealand, 5 against Pakistan, and 13 against England.
Kaka into Vol, who nearly chops that onto the stumps, but the ball ends up just landing dead in front of her as it comes off. And, well, yeah, at least Perry does like coming up into big occasions, though, doesn't she? And she just really, when she's out there in the middle, provides so much stability and, as a watcher of the game, security as Kaka's in. And Vol pushes that to cover. No run.
Yes, certainly. I mean, it's actually a scary thing when you think about Elise Perry and her quality, her experience. She's not had a great World Cup, and you just think exactly that. Will she strike when the pressure's on, when the stakes are high? And that's the incredible thing about this Australian team, is that so many different people keep standing up.
Kaka in, Vol up in the air, into the leg side. And there's no one there. It will be one bounce and then rolls away for 4. Takes it across the line. Fuller delivery there from Kaka.
Well, it's an authoritative shot from Vol. The first 2 balls, I thought she played quite poorly. She tried to cut them almost off the stumps and got herself in a right tangle. But that one just leans into her arc. She's a very strong leg side dominant player. You can tell by that shot. Picked up 4 runs.
Yeah, on first look, I thought it was actually going higher compared to the distance, as Kaka's in now and Vol solid in defence. Goes to mid-off.
I think she's at her best, Georgia Vol, when she's playing shots like that. She's shuffling down the pitch. She's picking it up to the leg side. Sometimes it might look slightly risky. The ball's on the stumps, picking up to the leg side, but it's her natural game, and it's what's got her this far into Australian colours and now opening the batting on the biggest stage.
Deep third and deep square in place. A bit of width as Vol goes off on the back foot to cut. It goes straight to de Klerk at point. And slightly cloudy skies over the stadium and indoor. And fingers crossed that we get no bad weather. As yeah, it's just been a theme in this tournament, but hopefully we'll be on the good side as Kaka's in and Vol cuts and it goes straight to de Klerk at point. She jumps in the air, gets a hand to it, but it doesn't stick. But she saved a few runs there. It was hit with quite a bit of force. And there'll be 5 runs from the over. 4 overs gone. Australia 11 for 1. And on that note, Kirsty, I'm going to make way for Stephen Finn.
Well, that could have been catch of the tournament as we watch that again. Nadine de Klerk has come thick and fast at her. She's dived away to her right-hand side. She gets a full hand to it. Knowing her, she'll be disappointed that she hasn't been able to claw onto that. Excellent athlete, excellent fielder. It'll go down as a drop catch, Finney.
Yeah, you'd have caught that, wouldn't you?
Oh, absolutely. I'd have got 2 hands to it, I think.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I'd have picked it up with 2 hands from the boundary rope, I think. It's a fantastic effort, diving like a goalkeeper high to her right. A really solid hand on it as well. So unlucky for it not to stick. The ball didn't deserve a wicket. That's a fantastic effort by de Klerk. But not meant to be, and it's not meant to be for South Africa so far today. They have taken an early wicket. My fear is they need much more. Cap is full of a length, defended by Vol back down towards mid-on for a dot ball.
Did you ever find yourself at backward point, Finney?
Do you know what? I did a few times. The captain would swiftly move me out of there. I like to think of myself as the equivalent of Peter Crouch in football, where people say he had good feet for a big man. I think I had good hands for a big man. The captains didn't seem to share that sentiment. I was whipped out to fine leg. very quickly. Cap outside off, driven by Vol, but off the inside half of the bat towards mid-off dot ball. There was one instance actually at Old Trafford in 2015 where I was at short mid-wicket and Alex Hales was at deep mid-wicket, and Steve Smith was batting to Adil Rashid, and Hales is screaming at me that me and him should swap because he thought he would be more proficient in the ring, and I would be more proficient out on the boundary where he was. He was screaming at me to swap, and I was being quite stubborn on that day. Cap over the wicket, back of a length, punched by Vol towards square cover, straight to the fielder though, dot ball. So I said, no, don't you worry about it, turned my back on him and faced up for the next ball. And Smith clipped it towards me in the air. And I took this like diving one-handed catch where I was completely suspended parallel to the floor, and it stuck. And then I turned around and sprinted straight towards Alex Hales, and we were all laughing and joking about it. That's probably my finest moment in the field on a cricket pitch. Cap, 3 dot balls so far to George Vol, who drives this one nicely, but straight to wide mid-off, where it's straight to the fielder, dot ball.
I love that. I love those stories, you know, all the runs that the top batters have scored and all the wickets the top bowlers have taken. Some of the favourite memories. They come in the field, don't they, where you're all out there together, the camaraderie you have as teammates and the spectacular moments that are created.
Yeah, what's yours? What was your best catch in your career be?
Oh, give me a ball, give me a ball.
I'll give you a ball. I'll tell you what, I'll give you 2 balls to think about it. Marizanne Cap, glaring, angles this in towards leg stump, and it's tucked towards short mid-wicket, straight to the fielder again. Dot ball, 5 in a row now, yet to concede a run. Marizanne Cap.
I've got it, I only need 1 ball.
Okay.
I field at mid-off a lot, obviously, captain, like to speak to my bowlers.
Yep.
And I practice catches running over my head every single day, every game, before game day, every day. And I shell them. Every week I shell one. Every season they get shelled.
Cap to close out another maiden. There's a bit of shape outside off, but pulled towards short mid-wicket along the floor. And another dot ball. Vol looks frustrated. Cap enjoying herself. Maybe not the game situation, but she's bowling nicely. 11 for 1.
And we were playing against Northern Diamonds, they're called, essentially Yorkshire, I suppose, back in the day. And Lauren Winfield Hill's on strike, I'm at mid-off, goes over my head. I'm sprinting back, full length, catch out in front of me, over my head at mid-off. And the camera caught it, which is the best part. We were playing at Scarborough, and you're thinking, is the camera going to capture this moment? But it did. And the shock on my face, I actually took a hand up to my mouth in complete shock of myself.
You've done the Stuart Broad.
It was literally a Stuart Broad moment. I was stunned that I'd held on to it. And then the aeroplane arms came out and I threw the ball up in the air.
Is that your go-to celebration, the aeroplane arms?
Yes, along with the Alan Shearer, normally with a wicket, you know, one hand, one finger in the air.
I was an Alan Shearer man, actually, just the one finger up. Occasionally I would express more emotion or give a small send-off, maybe. Now, Ayabonga class. No, Masabata class, sorry, into the attack. Floats one outside the off stump. It's backward point and caught. What a beautiful catch that is. Elise Perry has gone for naught. And de Klerk at backward point. Suspended, horizontal to the ground. Diving to her left. Grabs onto it this time. It's a wonderful catch. A loose shot by Perry. And that's all about the catch. Australia lose their second.
Well, that's why she's there. She dropped the first one, arguably slightly easier one. But this one, she makes no mistake. Nadine de Klerk, what a catch. You can't keep her out of the game this World Cup.
Well, that was a brilliant catch, and given some of the brilliant cricket that we've seen today, you can watch all of Alana King's 7 wickets. You can watch that catch, all on the BBC website and app. Highlights all the way through this tournament, every ball of every game. And this has been a riveting encounter. 11 for 2 Australia. They still need 87 more runs to win this game, and one more wicket might put a cat amongst the pigeons.
Right on cue from Nadine de Klerk. Speaking about our best catches, well, she can join in the conversation, can't she?
She'll be so glad that she's hung on to that. It was the one before she deserved to take it. And this one diving the other way was just as spectacular. Now, Beth Mooney, if you want someone to come in and steady the ship, it's someone who's played 91 matches and averages just under 49. Can South Africa prize another wicket here and make the Australians nervous? Klaas around the wicket, angles in towards middle, tucked round the corner by Mooney towards deep backwards square leg for 1 run. 12 for 2.
Yeah, the difficult thing here is that, of course, Australia, they've actually found themselves in this position already in the tournament. They've been under pressure through the power plays, and the depth they have is scary. But South Africa have got their tails up, which is important. A bit of confidence, a bit of momentum.
And Elise Perry's having a quiet World Cup, isn't she? Not really hit her straps, such a great player. Klaas driven nicely by Vol, straight to square cover where Dirksen dives to her left and does the fielding, parries it to de Klerk at backward point. The South Africans tenacious in the field here.
Well, they won't give up without a fight, will South Africa? It's been a strength of theirs through the whole competition, whether they set or whether they've chased. And they're alive in the field.
Showing great character here. When you're bowled out for 97, it can descend into chaos in the second innings, but 12 for 2, they're hanging in there. This is a big appeal for LBW. It's hit on the back pad. Klaas was interested momentarily, but maybe being convinced to go upstairs here, Laura Wolvard.
No, don't waste it, Laura. I think that's sliding. Nadine de Klerk at backward point. I think she likes the height. She's telling them that. Yeah, they've gone upstairs for it.
Yep, they've gone upstairs. And I think this could be close. It could be an umpire's call on leg stump.
Given not out. It is a fair delivery.
A long way back in her crease.
Looking at a split screen.
Well, no, not.
Next round.
It's too high, I think. She's not as far back in her crease as I thought. It's being played on the back foot.
There's no bet.
But it hits around the top of the flat length, but the legs are straight. And her back foot is on the crease line, so the ball still has a fair distance to travel.
It's a flat line.
At best here, I think.
No bet involved. Can we move
South
on
Africa
to ball
will
tracking when ready?
take umpire's call, I think, and retain the review. I can't see this doing enough to be hitting leg stump.
No, if the bowler's not that interested in the review in the first instance.
Pitching outside off, impact umpire's call. Nimali, I need you to stay with your original decision of not out, stand by.
Yeah, the original decision stands. The height was actually okay. It would have hit the top of a fourth stump on the leg side. But the review is gone. You can understand South Africa going for that. They really do need to keep taking these wickets. They've priced 2 important ones out, Litchfield and Perry. This would have been Vol on her way back had it been given out, but it was not. And Klaas has started nicely here, back into the team for this game, wearing the number 5 now, running in over the wicket to Georgia Vol, who goes on the back foot and tucks this just wide of mid-on, where Loose picks up and the batters trot through for a single. 1 added to the score, 13 for 2.
Good running there from Georgia Vol. It'll be a feature of Australia's innings, regardless of the situation. Really, they run well between the wickets. Mooney always ready to scamper through for a quick single.
She is a scamperer, isn't she? Very much a scamperer. Crabby around the crease, so destructive. When she's in form, facing up to Klaas, who's round the wicket. This is defended off the back foot towards mid-on. And it's a dot ball to complete the over, so a welcome introduction into the attack for Klaas, who has taken a wicket and only conceded 2 runs, mostly thanks to a brilliant catch by Nadine de Klerk, who's had her say in many games this tournament. Been an important player for South Africa, and proving so again today at backward point. 13 for 2 Australia. The target is 98, so 85 more runs to win, I think. No, you hanging around with me here, Kirsty?
Nope, I'm going to leave you.
I was going to say, I thought you might be leaving me. Yep. See you later.
What a catch that was by Nadine.
It's like a young Phoebe Graham, that.
Just saying that would be about chest height for you, that catch, Finney.
Yeah, true. Yeah, there's some advantages to being taught. Unsurprisingly, Marizan Cap continues 1 for none from 3 overs, yet to concede a run. Still hasn't brought a smile to her face, though. Full of a length, defended by Vol towards mid-on.
Yeah, she's been relentless, hasn't she, in these first 3 overs? Not leaving the stumps at all. Then got that beautiful delivery that shaped away to Litchfield. Got the outside edge of her bat.
Yeah, she is just the heartbeat of the team, isn't she? Marizanne Kapp bats at number 5, opens the bowling. Fields in the important positions. Such a competitor. Over the wicket, outside off, driven firmly through extra cover by Vol. That would be 4. It's a nice shot. That wasn't a half volley by any stretch of the imagination, but throws her hands through it, finds the middle of the bat and brings a smile to her face. 17 for 2.
Yeah, beautiful that from Georgia Vol. Hits the ball so hard and crunches that through the covers for 4. Limited foot movement at all in that shot, but just punches it and plays it nicely through cover and extra for 4.
Yeah, really nice balance there. Literally didn't move her feet, but trusting the bounce of this surface. Cap in again. Fuller driven hard by Vol towards mid-on, straight to the fielder though, dot ball.
I think a lot of comfort for Vol when Mooney joins the crease. They live down the road from each other in Brisbane.
Do they?
I think she was her prodigy before Mooney left Brisbane to go play for Perth Scorchers. She's come through the Australian ranks. Lovely, has Vol.
17 for 2. Cap full, hit hard over her head. That is a brilliant shot. 1 bounce 4. Straight back over Marizanne Kapp's head. And Vol is having a good time of it. Australia 21 for 2 now, asserting themselves again on this game.
Yeah, slightly over pitch by Kapp. And Vol thumps that down the ground. 1 bounce 4. And that's how she's made her mark in domestic cricket over in Australia, being so powerful up top. And you're starting to see that confidence come through from the young Georgia Vol.
It's amazing how just 1 shot can put you on the back foot as a bowler. The delivery where Vol punched Kapp through the offside without foot movement. That means that Kapp has gone searching a touch fuller. She's been driven hard for 4 through extra cover and then thumped back over her head. Deep square leg and deep third of the 2 fielders out. This is still a slip just in case Kapp can find that shape that grabs the outside edge. They need wickets. 21 for 2. Down the leg side, fumbled by the wicket keeper and parried towards short fine leg, so it will be a wide plus the bye that's been run, so 2 added to the score. 23 for 2, 63 to win.
Yeah, Kapp hadn't conceded a run before this. But like you say, 1 ball, 1 good shot, and it just upsets her rhythm a little bit.
It certainly does as a bowler. It's more a mindset thing. When you're just bowling to someone who's patting them back, you settle in, you don't feel any pressure, you don't second guess yourself, whereas if someone is showing intent against you, especially in this format of the game, it leaves you overcorrecting. Maybe that's just a touch what Marizanne Kapp has done this over. 10 runs from it so far. 23 for 2. 98 is the target. Mooney just scratching around in her crease, making sure she's happy with everything. Fine leg and deep third, the 2 fielders. Marizanne Kapp looks at the ball, whispers something to herself and sets off with a top knot on top of her head. Full outside off, driven by Mooney, straight to extra cover but fumbled. So the batters attempt to come back for 2 but opt not to, so just 1 added to the score. 24 for 2. And 1 delivery to go in the 7th over.
Yeah, just a little bit of width on offer for Mooney there. She doesn't quite thread the needle between cover and extra. They managed to scramble through for a single.
Such a nice timer of the ball, Mooney, isn't she? Looking to get forward as well to Kapp, who will be looking to scratch the outside edge, as she did to Phoebe Litchfield. To Vol, though, back of a length and defended back down the pitch to the bowler to complete the 7th over with a dot ball. 24 for 2.
Yeah,
Australia.
Two very different styles of batters at the crease. Touch player in Beth Mooney, who likes to thread the gap, play classic cricket shots, and then Georgia Vol, who's so destructive, so powerful, hits the ball so hard. 15 from her 21, and Mooney 2 from 3.
It's important, isn't it, how you intersperse those players throughout your order, so that you do complement each other. That'll be a consideration when teams are picking their batting lineups. You touch players, power players, left hand, right hand is such a significant thing as well for bowlers to have to adjust to.
Yeah, and they've got it all, don't they, Australia, to choose from.
And then some. Class, good length, defended by Mooney, back down the pitch to the bowler, dot ball.
Anyway, I've seen you all over socials this week, Finney, promoting a new book.
Well, I wasn't going to mention it myself.
Been chatting with others.
Yeah, well, thanks for mentioning that, Phoebe. Yeah, my book comes out in a couple of weeks. Looking forward to it.
All around the Ashes, isn't it?
I'm sure you've pre-ordered yours, Phoebe, haven't you?
I've got the audio book on demand ready to go.
Look at you. Class down the leg side to Mooney. Wide ball, 25 for 2. Yeah, I read the audiobook. It was an interesting experience. Sat in a booth, reading, trying to make sure you don't make any mistakes. There was the odd tear in there, I'll be honest. If you hear my voice cracking, I'd probably cut the audio recording off at that stage and had 5 minutes to myself.
How many days were you recording it for?
Just the 2. Class round the wicket, outside edge, just wide of first slip, racing away for 4. Not far away from a breakthrough there, Class again. Off the outside edge of Beth Mooney. Nervy couple of seconds as that drifted towards the slip. Chloe Tryon not throwing the dive in there. Not far away, South Africa.
Yeah, she's bowled well. Has Class so far, just a second over. Ball wobbles through the air and just gets a thick outside edge down for 4, which is looking threatening to the left-handed Beth Mooney.
29 for 2. Australia, the target just 98. Class remains round the wicket, good length, defended by Mooney, back to the bowler, dot ball. Yeah, they've been close, haven't they? It's so hard when you're bowling under these circumstances. You know you can't go chasing wickets because that will make the scoreboard move even quicker, so you have to retain your patience, but it gets to a point where you're just desperate to make another breakthrough. They had Australia 11 for 2. There would have been a couple of nervous moments for the Australian dugout, but certainly now just settled slightly. It's Class around the wicket to Mooney, is punched off the front foot towards square cover, dot ball, where I think that's Brits, isn't it, there, who's picked that up and attempted an aggressive shy at the non-strikers end stumps, but didn't let go of the ball. South Africa remaining on their guard here. England versus New Zealand tomorrow, and Bangladesh versus India. That rounds out the group stage. We do know who the semi-finalists are. This game determines who plays who. The winner will face India. The loser will face England. Back of a length outside the off stump. Driven off the back foot by Mooney to short extra cover, dot ball.
Yeah, Australia have shown vulnerabilities throughout this tournament, but still such a dominating team. But it's been the power play for them with both the batting and ball where they've shown some signs of weakness. Some players not stepping up as they'd like.
You can read it 2 ways, though, with that, can't you? Because then, when they have been under pressure, they drag their way out of it every single time. And that's the sign of, or what I think is the sign of an excellent team, is that it's not always the same person. It's Class. To complete the 8th over is bowling to Mooney, a bouncer pulled towards fine leg. There is a fielder there who long barriers it. Kaka down there and keeps it to 1. So 30 for 2 after 8 overs. The target is 98, so just 68 more runs needed. And with a few more thoughts from you, Phoebe, I'm going to make way for Nikki Chowdhury.
Yeah, I guess that's where Australia are so relentless. They've been in a couple of sticky positions before. They were 24 for 3 against England in the 5th over. They were 115 for 8 against Pakistan, but in both occasions, players within the team and different players stepped up and scored hundreds. Annabelle Sutherland and Ashley Gardner against England and Beth Mooney against Pakistan. So they've been in these positions before. Not a huge target of 98 to chase down, and Australia are 30 for 2.
Yeah, they've been in this situation a few times, and while someone or the other does tend to roll up their sleeves and get the job done in this Australian side, there's We've got a decent turnout as well in the stadium. And the crowds enjoying themselves. Australia, South Africa, top of the table clash. Currently 30 for 2 here. Australia, target of 98. Performed extremely well with the ball. As in runs Kaka. Now to Mooney. Outside edge, and this will race away towards the boundary. It's helped along by deep third as well, who just palms that over the rope. Should have really been stopped. But that fall takes Australia to 34 for 2.
Well, it's the second time we've seen Mooney hit that ball through second slip. Chloe Tryon at first slip is hands in the air, shouting to Laura Wolvaert, let's get another slip in. She's been vulnerable there twice now, but still only opting for one slip as South Africa.
Kaka, will she just bring that line in a bit more? She does, as Mooney forward and pushes that to mid-off. I wouldn't say she had an awful amount of control over the last boundary.
No, it was definitely a thick outside edge, and Tryon has just moved wider in the slips rather than getting another catcher in there. But with only 98 on the board, they need to be attacking whilst there's that hint of vulnerability within Beth Mooney's.
Kaka in, it's like a little bit of width, and this is punished through the covers by Beth Mooney. Races away for 4 all along the carpet. Gets her hands through it.
Well, too much width on offer there for Beth Mooney. She's able to crunch that through the covers for 4. Brilliant previous delivery, finding the outside edge, but searching for it there, and Beth Mooney punishes that as it races the way to the boundary.
And she's extremely strong through the offside. That's not where you want to be bowling. Kaka looks down, shakes her head. She makes her way back to the top of her mark. She's in again. Mooney forward and pushes this to cover. Doesn't get this one away. 38 for 2 here, Australia.
You can see Chloe Tryon in the slips, chatting to the keeper, trying to figure out where to position herself. I think they need an extra player in there. And then with that, Class is certainly searching for the wicket.
Kaka in round the wicket to the left-handed Mooney, who's off the back foot and pushes us down towards deep cover. Will come through for the single. 39 for 2 score moves on to, which means they're just 59 runs away from getting over the line here, Australia.
Yeah, it won't be a full day's play that the crowd will see over in India, but they managed to see the Alana King show, who was absolutely phenomenal today. 7 wickets for just 18 runs. She tore through that South African attack.
And she just looks so relaxed, and she enjoyed herself. Big smile on her face throughout the spell as well. As Kaka's interval right on over to the right-hander, who's off the back foot, plays it on her toes, and this ball might just pick up all the way and race towards the boundary. It does. It catches momentum as it crosses the practice wickets and races away just over by wide long off. 3 boundaries in the over. 9 overs gone. Australia 43 for 2.
Yeah, they're looking comfortable now, are Australia. Vol just punches that off the back foot, and it just seems to gather momentum towards the boundary ropes. She moves on to 19 from 22.
Yeah, you say that, Phoebe, that the crowd won't get their full 100 overs in, but you know what? I don't think they'll be complaining when you get to see Alana King bowl a spell like that. And Australia on their way to chasing it down.
It's interesting hearing the post-match analysis, and at comms just saying it was just good to keep this good South African team under 100, and what's next for you, Alana? And she wants to get herself up the order with the bat in hand, so she never stops, even with 7 wickets today. She wants more.
Now that did make me laugh, as Class is about to make her way through, and then Beth Mooney just, I think something's bothering her, maybe someone just behind the sight screen.
She
Falls
came
out
and played our domestic season this year, did Alana King for Lancashire, and was just such a great girl and wants to work on all 3 facets of a game, and that's one of her big reasons for coming and playing domestic.
Class in and bottom edged by Mooney into square leg, and he'll come back for a couple. She'll have to make sure she gets her skates on, and she does. Good running in the end from these two. Score moves on to 45 for 2 here.
Brilliant running from Mooney there. Such a good anticipator of the game and knows exactly when there's 1 or 2 runs between the wickets excellently. But yeah, Alana King just desperate to get herself up the order and showing what she's capable of against Pakistan, getting 50 not out when their backs were against the wall.
Class right arm round to the left-hander. He's off the back foot, plays that to mid-wicket. Doesn't get it past Dirksen. Yeah, I listened in on the during the interval. We had that snippet from when Alana King was here, was in the UK playing the season with Lancashire, and she sounds like quite the character.
Oh, she's a great girl. Full of life, full of energy, and one of those radiators that you want to spend your time in the changing room around.
Pass in again, and Mooney this time forward, defends, bat face just closing on contact as it goes to mid-on.
So good with the young girls as well. We've got one young leg spinner, Venus, in the Lancashire Academy, and Alana King spent a number of hours with her, bowling, talking her through different variations about the pace of the ball, driving through the crease as a spinner, and just has so much time for absolutely everyone within the team and within the setup. So she was honestly a pleasure to have round.
Short ball balled away by Mooney, and that will find the boundary. That is raced away with power. And Australia really taking force here. They move on to 49 for 2.
Went for the shorter delivery there, but didn't get up, and Mooney punished that from class. Ended up being around hip height, and she pulled that with certain assurance along the ropes for 4.
Full control over it as well. Ground staff had to just move out the way very quickly there. Absolutely raced away to the boundary. Class knows that's not the length. And she's slightly fuller this time. Mooney forward to mid-on. Looks to set off, decides against it.
Mooney always seems to play her best cricket when Australia are in tricky situations, and she comes in and she needs to fight hard. That's what she's so good at as a competitor, digging deep. She's now 22 from 19.
You get some players who just thrive under pressure, don't you?
Yeah, she is one that steps up in the big occasions.
Class in to Mooney, and this one is straying down the leg side, coming off the pad. Ends the over. 10 overs gone. 49 for 2 Australia. That's the end of the power play as well. Mooney on 22. Georgia Vol with 19 to her name.
Yeah, not too dissimilar power play to South Africa. They were 44 for 2. The big difference was they got off to a flying start, did South Africa. Laura Woolvart was 31 from 22, and they were 32 in the 6th over, and then never cracked on from there on. And at this stage is when we saw the wonderful Alana King, who ripped through the order and ended up bowling South Africa out for 98.
That was really something special, and what you've managed to be in the same dressing room as her. And as mentioned, how much you can learn from her, especially as a young leg spinner. And having listened to that episode of No Balls with Kate Cross and Alex Hartley, she seems like she's got a lot of time for everyone. And the way she got into leg spin as well, picking up from her brother and then continuing just because she got pure joy from watching the ball spin. As talking about spin, Malaba's in. Left arm spin. As this one is blocked out by Georgia Volt, and Malaba will field off her own bowling.
Yeah, she's had a good tournament as Malaba. All the left arm spinners have done well this tournament.
This one is just played off the back foot towards short third. They'll come through for a single. Brings Beth Mooney back onto strike.
Certainly been a tournament for spin, but we've not seen anything quite like the performance today from Alana King. 4 of those dismissals were clean bowled, and I think that last delivery to Nadine de Klerk was the best one out of all of them. A Shane Warne-esque delivery that just left Nadine de Klerk stumped and shocked at the crease as her off stump was taken.
Yeah, it really was a special delivery as Malaba left arm over is into Mooney's off the back foot, rocks and plays this down towards deep cover for a single. And while talking about all those wickets from Alana King, 7 for 18 was her spell, and those wickets are available on the BBC Sport website, so you can check all of those out and see the carnage that she caused in indoor if you don't believe our word for it. 51 for 2 here now, Australia. But in, Vol off the back foot, looking to pull, and that one just skidding onto her. That's caught her on the upper thigh. And it just trickles in front of her. She won't get away. As this time off the back foot, makes contact with the willow, pushes it to Laura Wardvart, who's at extra cover.
Well, in some nice areas here is Malaba. First over her spell.
She's in again, less flight and reverse sweeps does Georgia Volt. And this should have the legs to go all the way. It does. Great connection. Nadine de Klerk on the chase, but she almost runs into the advertising hoarding.
Well, that shot had so much flair about it. Vol got into position early and had to adapt a reverse sweep there as Malaba took the ball away from the bat. Managed to get it through that short 45 region so wonderfully. It's a great piece of skill from Georgia Vol.
Great connection as well. 11 overs gone. Australia 55 for 2, 43 runs required.
With the ball spinning so much today, sweeping, reverse sweeping is a great option. Something we didn't see from the South African batting lineup. They looked absolutely stumbled in how to play spin today, and we've seen that again when they played England. 3 wickets Lindsay Smith took, 2 for Charlie Dean, 2 for Sophie Ecclestone, so spin is a real problem for the South African batters.
De Klerk into the attack, replacing Klaas. There's a back of a length and short-armed jab to mid-wicket. It's stopped brilliantly by Dirksen.
I don't know if there's a bit of look of shock there from Dirksen.
It did look like it, didn't it?
Great piece of work at mid-wicket, just where Beth Mooney got caught against England, but she got up and over that, and it just dropped short of de Klerksen.
De Klerk in, and this one cut away down towards cap. At deep point, they'll come through for a single. Move on to 56 for 2 here now.
One of the good pullers of the ball is Beth Mooney, but it's one of the positions mid-wicket where she is vulnerable to getting caught. She did get over the top of that nicely. But a good piece of fielding there from de Klerksen.
45-run partnership at the moment between Vol and Mooney. And then comes de Klerk and goes for the ramp, and I think she's played that onto her own helmet, has Georgia Volt.
Yeah, she went early.
She went very early, and de Klerk just following her has ended up as a dot.
Yeah, it's really well bowled. She saw Vol go early, she digged it in short and followed her, and Vol just ends up hitting that into her own shoulder. Don't know whether it'll require the physio to come on and look, but she's furious with that is Georgia Vol, but well bowled.
De Klerk in outside the off stump. Vol has wafted it, and it goes through to Jafta with the gloves. And well, yeah, she looks more frustrated there that she didn't actually make the connection she was after, and plays it onto her shoulder. Initial looks of that look like you got the bottom grill. As de Klerk makes her way back to the top of a mark and charges in very quickly and offers some width to Vol, who cuts this away, and it will go away for 4 all along the ground. And de Klerk knows she's let one loose. She shakes her head And she's disappointed with herself. And Australia move on to 60 for 2 with that boundary.
Yeah, a bit of frustration for the point fielder as well. It just goes under the full stretch dive. It would have been a great piece of fielding, but expected at this level. And yeah, the frustration sets in for the South African team here.
De Klerk in, stump to stump as Vol works this off the back foot, just down to deep square leg. Come through for a single. 6 runs from that opening over from Nadine de Klerk. 12 overs gone. Australia 61 for 2, chasing that target of 98.
Just starting to see the true Georgia Vol come through here. 29 from 31 deliveries. But it's only the last sort of 10 deliveries that she's really accelerated her strike rate and playing shots that are powerful, innovative. That's what she's done so well out in state cricket in Australia. And it'll be a question mark of whether Healy comes back in, whether this calf injury is a few weekdays old.
Laba in to Vol off the back foot, just pushes this down towards deep cover. She'll walk through for a single hit, and these two also put up a 51-run partnership. Just looks so calm, so controlled out there in the middle, and this is the thing about this Australian batting lineup. Nothing seems to really faze them. As Malaba left arm over to Mooney, uses her feet down the track and pushes this down towards deep cover for another single. Just happy to rotate. There's no sense of, I wouldn't say urgency to score boundaries. There's a sense of urgency to score and keep the scoreboard ticking, but always going for the big shots, which sometimes you can see desperation for 4s and 6s. As Malaba in now, and Vol turns this into the vacant mid-wicket area. She'll come through for a single. Just calm, relaxed.
Yeah, they're just playing the game in front of them, aren't they? They're not trying to do anything silly. This over, 3 singles, rotating the strike nicely and then putting away the bad ball. It is very good cricket from Australia.
No, but into Mooney, goes for the reverse sweep. That's gone through Jafta, and that will race away towards the boundary for 4. Has she got connection on this? The umpire's just checking. Off the naked eye, it looks like she has. Umpire signals 4. 4 it will be. And Australia really just easing themselves over and closer to the target here. They move on to 68 for 2. Now in again, and Mooney makes space off the back foot and drops this into the offside. She'll come through for a single. Deep cover comes into field.
Both batters getting in early to position for the reverse sweep. That one kept really low, the previous delivery to Mooney. Not sure she just got a glove on that.
Now by left arm round to Vol, who's off the back foot, pulls this away and finds the gap between deep square leg and deep mid wicket. That is hit with authority and force, and that will also conclude the end of the 13th over. Australia 73 for 2. And on that note, Phoebe, a few more thoughts from you as I make way for Stephen Finn.
Yeah, no, beautiful shot there by Georgia Vol. Dismissive, pulled on the back foot, 1 bounce 4. She's finding a flow here today, is Volley.
Volley, that's her nickname, is it?
It is, yeah. We had the pleasure of Georgia Vol at Lancashire as well, so we've had some good players over the last couple of years.
You've had them all. No wonder you're winning everything. That doesn't seem fair, does it?
That's how you do the double, Finney. You get some good overseas signings.
God, don't bring it back up, Finney.
Sounds like it's been rigged. Mooney facing de Klerk, who's wide of off stump. Pushing wide there. The umpire decides on leniency. Dot ball. I think Phoebe's taking a break now. We've got Kirsty, haven't we?
Yeah, and you've just left me with more reminders that Lancashire won half the trophies they were to win this year.
Well, there's always next year, though, Kirsty. That's what the winter is for you to improve, and I'm sure under your leadership next year, Lancashire have got no chance. Short outside off stump, punched by Mooney. It's misfielded at backward point, but good fielding on the boundary. We'll keep it to 2 as opposed to 4. 2 added to the score, 75 for 2. How are you shaping up before next season?
Well, it's early days, isn't it? We've enjoying a bit of time off at the minute. We'll be back in a couple of weeks, ready for some hard winter grinds, as it always is.
Oh, they're the worst weeks of the year. De Klerk, slower ball, punched by Mooney towards short extra dot ball.
Yeah, pre-Christmas is a tough block. A lot of fitness for the girls.
Isn't it? The first day back is always the yo-yo test, the sprint test, the fat test, everything.
I'm not sure you can say that.
Sorry, the skin folds, isn't it? So we used to call it the fat test. But sorry.
Yeah, we actually fitness test at the very end of the season now, which has mixed reviews.
Outside off, cut by Mooney, straight to backward point, top ball.
But actually, I think it's good because it means the girls can enjoy their break properly. So we fitness test right at the end of the season, get the scores in, and then girls, you can go away and you actually enjoy your break. You don't have to worry about fitness testing the first week back and worrying about what you're eating and how much exercise you're doing. Just enjoy your break. That's what it's for. Yeah. And then we'll probably fitness test, I guess, 4 or 5 weeks into that first block again.
Nice. De Klerk, back of a length, outside off stump, punched off the back foot by Mooney towards short extra cover. Dot ball, yeah, it always used to hang over me because Middlesex, my team, would always do it the first day back of winter training. So for those last couple of weeks of your time off, you'd be thinking, oh, should I really be having that chocolate bar? Should I have that beer? Maybe not. It's nice not to have that hanging over you. Pulled by Mooney firmly towards short extra. Good fielding by Dirksen, though, diving to her left. Can't stop the single, though. Australians excellent at running between the wickets. That's the end of the over, just 3 runs from it. 76 for 2 Australia. They need just 22 more runs to win. Only 14 overs gone in this second innings, and big grins all round for Australia, and unsurprisingly so.
Yep, they're cruising to victory here. It's just a matter of overs now, isn't it, really? How long it may or may not take them, I suppose.
How derailing could this be for South Africa, or do you think they'll be able to write it off like they did that England performance at the very first game?
Yeah, I think they're going to have to. It's obviously so close to the semi-final. That'll be the main concern. But I think in Laura Woolvart's leadership, very calm and composed.
Laba is driven off the back foot by Mooney to short extra, dot ball.
And I think in general, South Africa, they've got a lot of senior players, Cap, another one, Suni Loose. They've been around a long time. They'll have seen things like this before.
And Mooney's down the pitch here, hitting firmly back over the bowler's head for a 2-bounce 4. Mooney wants this over and done with. She moves on to 37. Australia 80 for 2, just 18 to win now.
And it's a bit cliche, but it is about the learnings you take. They've faltered to the leg spin of Alana King. She bowled beautifully, but there were some poor shot options in there as well, you have to say. Suni Loose in particular, just the second ball of King's spell. Short outside off cut, but good fielding by the fielder at square cover. Keeps it to a single, 81 for 2. Well, you can watch all of those poor decisions with the bat and good balls by Alana King. Fantastic catch by Nadine de Klerk at backward point on the BBC Sport website and app. Every ball of every game we've got for you here in this World Cup as it comes towards its closing stages. Back of a length and driven off the back foot by Volt at mid-off, dot ball. So yeah, they ultimately they have to park it. They have to find a way, and it'll be challenging. A reverse sweep, a little dab, tap on the head, just fine of short third, where de Klerk does the fielding, and 1 run's added to the score from the blade of Vol. She moves on to 46, 82 for 2, just 16 runs to win. It really is a cruise for Australia here. 6 runs from this over, 1 delivery to go from Laba. Floated outside off, driven straight back down the ground off the front foot by Mooney towards wide long off. Loose does the fielding, wearing the number 96, and that's the end of the over, 83 for 2. Need 15 runs to win now, and the drinks are leisurely being strolled onto the outfield here as is customary, because with 15 runs to win, what do the players need? A drink, Kirsty. Cricket doing cricket things again. There's no urgency there from anyone, is there? Just wandering out onto the pitch is probably an opportunity to reflect on this game, I think, and clearly where it was or has been won for Australia, barring something absolutely miraculous, it's
Alana King's 7 for 18, and she's had a marvellous few days, hasn't she? But didn't quite get the rewards that maybe she deserved against England in terms of wickets, but 10 overs for 20, really turning the screw on the English middle order. But today I think it's fair to say she got her rewards with 7 for 18, the best ever figures in a Women's World Cup.
Yeah, absolutely. She had before today she had the 4th best economy rate in the competition, and it was top of anyone who'd bowled more than 13 overs, just 3.65 an over. Lindsay Smith just behind on 3.68, and her teammate Annabelle Sutherland just behind as well. So yes, you could say that as well. She hadn't quite had the rewards until today. 7 wickets. You don't have a day out like that very often at all. I think she's the 3rd Australian to take 7 wickets in an innings. Joins Elise Perry. I was there that day in Canterbury where she cleaned up England, sadly, in the 2019 Ashes. I was running the drinks. I think I did the most yards that day, actually, on and off. Elise Perry took a 7 for, and Australia coach Shelley Nitschke, she's taken a 7 for as well in ODI cricket.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it, when you're 12ers on those days? You're almost like, do you really need to change your gloves? You've been out there 3 balls. Do you really deserve a drink? It feels like a waste of everyone's time. But when someone's taking wickets with that regularity, all you can do is marvel at it, and we've done that very much so at Alana King today. And we have to remind ourselves, South Africa got a pretty good start as well, 32 without loss after 6 overs. Flying out the blocks, Laura Wolvart had scored 31 of those runs, and then it all just fell apart for South Africa, very similarly to the way that it did against England in the very first game, which England will take heart from, because it looks, for all intents and purposes, that it's going to be South Africa that England face in their semi-final. On the 29th, Australia will play India in that other semi, with mouth-watering prospect of a big crowd and a great atmosphere for a World Cup game. And looking at this tournament now, it's difficult to look beyond Australia, isn't it? But maybe, just maybe, they could have a slip-up in there.
Yeah, I mean, that's what other teams will have to hope for. They'll have to hope that they bring their A game, India, in the semi-final. And a bit of a slip-up from Australia really is what it's having to look like. Do you think it's a concern for South Africa that out of the 2 of the 3 times they've batted first, they failed to make 100? Do you think that's a dead set? England, if they win the toss, they'll put them into bat in that semi-final?
I think you'd be tempted to do so, most definitely. You want to heap as much pressure on South Africa as you possibly can. Back into the cricket here, Nadine de Klerk always a short wide one to Mooney, who cuts it hard to point where it's misfielded, and batters scamper through for a single. Mooney onto 40. Vol has 36, just 14 runs to win for Australia, but it's certainly a consideration for England if they do win the toss. I mean, you have to play the conditions that are in front of you. You'll know that as a captain. But certainly the mental element of making South Africa go out there and set a total could be something that would be very challenging for them in the semi-final, especially with this as their most recent memory of them playing cricket. It's no wonder that all of Australia are smiling in the dugout. De Klerk on middle stump is turned into the onside by Vol, just wide of mid-on. 1 run added to the score, 13 to win.
I was just going to say, I'm enjoying watching these scenes because the camera won't leave Alana King alone. I think she's getting a bit fed up with it following her around. She's had to go and change back into her yellow match day kit. I think there'll be no surprises who the player of the match is going to be.
No, I think she can quite comfortably preempt that one, and she doesn't have her yellow kit on now because she's coming into bat next. Driven off the back foot by Mooney. The call's 2, come back, and they will tap and go easily and come back for 2. Or is it not that easy? But the bails are whipped off at the non-striker's end, but the batter comfortably in. Vol there, 2 added to the score.
Or maybe the skipper and the coach were listening to her interview at the halfway stage where she said she wanted to be pushed up the order. Now's your turn, Kingy, and you're in at 5 today,
hit the winning
mate.
runs. It is an amazing feeling to hit the winning runs. I did it once in my career against Surrey for Middlesex in front of a packed house at Lord's. Albeit I wasn't pushed up the order to do so. I was batting at sticks at number 11. And yeah, that feeling of hitting the winning runs. Have you done it, Kirsty? You must have done.
Yeah, I've done it once. I did it playing for Otago in the Super Smash.
De Klerk over the wicket, slower ball driven off the back foot by Mooney, well fielded at extra cover by Wolvaert.
It was a real nail biter, actually, and I think we were 9 down, actually. We had overs to play with, but when you're 9 down, it's just the worst feeling ever, isn't it?
Yeah.
You'll know as well, Finney, it's just not nice.
No, not pleasant, because usually you're out there just shaking everyone's hands because you've lost. De Klerk over the wicket, cut by Mooney, straight to forward point, straight to the fielder, dot ball.
Yeah, I've enjoyed
usually
of late being, at least when you're in at 8 or 9, you feel there's a bit of something coming after you, and you can play with a little bit more freedom. But when you get 9 down, it's a stressful time.
Very stressful. The last ball of this De Klerk over, 4 runs from it so far. Mooney on 42, Australia just 11 runs to win. Driven hard, the shout's catch, and it has been by Wolvaert at short extra. Minimal celebration. Wolvaert saying, I think I've caught that. There's definitely no celebration whatsoever. Mooney's walking. She's seen it go into the hands of Wolvaert. I imagine we might have half a look upstairs just in case, but scant consolation for South Africa here with just 11 runs to win. Beth Mooney has driven this to short extra. We are going to have a look upstairs. The umpire wants to double check, but Mooney was marching off the pitch there. Usually the batter knows.
Okay, we have
well, usually the batter knows, but sometimes these catches on the replay, they have the ability to look not out, even when I've seen the fielder get the fingers underneath it.
Just looking at this slowed down.
Okay. Okay, can you just zoom it in before the ball?
I think this is going to be given not out, unfortunately. The ball disappears as it hits the fingers.
Okay,
it
next
gives the impression that it's going to hit the ground.
I can see fingers there. Next frame.
My pet peeve, these catches.
I can see fingers underneath the ball. Next frame. Okay, just take it back.
I'm just watching the third umpire deliberate.
There's a finger underneath there. Next frame. Okay, can you zoom it back?
What do you think, Finney?
Okay.
I think it's going to be given not out.
Couple of frames back.
Because there is one frame where you can't tell if Laura Wolvaert's third finger of her right hand is underneath the ball, which is the critical finger in this moment. And Wolvaert's reaction suggested to me that she wasn't that sure either.
Okay,
and the ball bounces up into the palm of her hands. My guess is this is going to be not out. It could be interpreted either way, though. Decision pending still. Out! There we go. Right, well, fortune favours the fielding team there. And Beth Mooney's on her way. De Klerk has a wicket. Laura Wolvaert can breathe a sigh of relief. 87 for 3, just 11 runs needed to win, but the wicket of Beth Mooney.
Yeah, those slow-mo ones, they always sort of look to the eye, not out as they're shown on the replay, because of course the fingers, they slightly sink into the grass, and the momentum of the ball does that as well. I think that's the right decision. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. I was with you there. I think that the umpires tend to err on the side of caution there and go with the batter, but they didn't today, which as a bowler makes me smile very much so. So a wicket for De Klerk. She has 1 for 13 from 3. That's the end of the 16th over. Just 11 runs to win. Now, someone nice to call upon to come in at number 5. A person who was destructive against England the other day. Didn't quite get to her century, even though Australia tried to manufacture it so that she could. It was 98 not out, wasn't it? But Annabelle Sutherland, the leading wicket taker in the competition. She also averages 42 in ODI cricket and has scored 300. So a brilliant player. 24 years old. Got a very long career ahead of her. She'll be at the non-strikers end, though, as Georgia Vole faces up to a short ball, pulled hard towards deep backward square, straight to the fielder. Chloe Tryon out there. 1 added to the score. 88 for 3, 10 to win. So I want to go back to your point, Kirsty. How did you hit your runs? Where did you hit them? And what was your celebration?
It was through the offside. It was either half volley or full toss. It wasn't the best ball the bowler had bowled. Left arm spinner bowling. Driven it past cover. The field was up because I think we needed 2 to win.
Dirksen punched off the back foot by Sutherland. Out towards deep extra. That's a nice way to open your account. That'll go for 4. Wow. What a shot that is. Anne-Marie Dirksen into the attack. Greeted
with a dismissive 4 from the middle of the bat of Sutherland. Just 6 to win now.
It was quite like that, actually. I think that's a spitting image of it, actually, there.
Well, Sutherland read your mind. She wanted to recreate the moment that Kirsty Gordon hit the winning runs for Otago, and that is just such a wonderful shot to generate that much power from that length. Dirksen bowls a frustrated short ball, pulled hard down the ground, 4 more. Don't bowl there to Annabelle Sutherland. She has 8 from 2. Australia just need 2 to win now.
My word, they're 2 shots of a player in form. She picked up length so quickly there, especially that second ball. It's short, but it's almost been flat batted like a tennis backhand back past the bowler and past mid-on, who's in the circle.
They were 2 very dismissive shots, and not much you can do about it. Dirksen now, bouncer again, defended into the offside behind point by Sutherland for a dot ball. So the first ball that she's not scored from, she has 8 from 3. Australia just 2 runs to win to book themselves a place in the second semi-final to win the group. Tomorrow, England versus New Zealand. No real consequence on that game other than momentum for the England team and some farewells on the New Zealand side of things. Dirksen full outside off, driven by Sutherland. This could be 2. The fielder, Marizanne Kapp, out there on the boundary, tries to cut it off, but the throw's poor, and that's the win. Australia dominant. They had their wobbles in this game, but it's been a fantastic display of bowling in the first instance by Alana King, and then batting to see this game home after a minor wobble. 11 for 2 they were, we must remember, in their pursuit of this target. But the way that they've played and got themselves over the line is a team with complete confidence that everyone in the team is doing their job, and South Africa are going to have to pick themselves up, dust themselves off before they meet England in the semi-final. But Australia win the group. It really has been a fantastic display. Alana King, no wonder she's grinning from ear to ear. 7 for her, and if she's not player of the match, I'll throw a hissy fit, I think.
Safest bet you place all day, Alana King. Getting player of the match for her 7 wickets.
And the team's just shaking hands here. The smoke, you probably need to use all of that smoke now, because you haven't got 50 overs or 100 overs worth of cricket, so that the operators of the fireworks, they're just making the most of them to make sure that they're all used. And the umpires and the players all shaking hands. The crowd won't feel shortchanged, I don't think, even though it's been a short game of cricket. There's really been some high skill, some high quality. Alana King's 7 for. Beth Mooney and Georgia Voll's partnership, the catch by Nadine de Klerk. Not too many of those things involving South Africa, though, which is a frustration for them. Played so well